Thank you. This is the 28th year of IIHP Mumbai. We started IIHP Mumbai in 1994, and since last 28 years, we are relentlessly having lectures every month in service to humanity and homeopathy. Even during last 2 years of COVID, we had conducted lectures online on management of COVID and many other topics. Today we are all here gathered for celebrating the birthday of our master, Dr. Christian Frederick Samuel Hahnemann, and this is a very special day for all of us. It took him 6 years to bring forward his research on homeopathy to his peers. It took him his lifetime to prove 99 homeopathic remedies, but he never stopped. He never stopped learning, he never stopped innovating, he never stopped teaching everyone about homeopathy. Personal problems and professional criticism never bothered him. He dared to be wise. So let us all celebrate the birthday of this great man by working together for homeopathy, because this is what he expects from all of us on this great day and nothing more. With this, I end my speech. I'll call upon Dr. Ramesh Katoch for a small song. Dr. Katoch, please.
Hello. जिंदगी की यही जीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। जिंदगी की यही जीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। थोड़े आंसू है, थोड़ी हंसी, आज गम है तो कल है खुशी। जिंदगी की यही जीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। थोड़े आंसू है, थोड़ी हंसी, आज गम है तो कल है खुशी। जिंदगी की यही जीत है, हार के बाद ही जीत है। जिंदगी रात भी है सवेरा भी है जिंदगी जिंदगी है सफर और बसेरा भी है जिंदगी जिंदगी है सफर और बसेरा भी है जिंदगी एक पतंग का नाम है दूसरा भरी छाँव है हर नए पल नया गीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है बादल जो छाए तो हम मुस्कुराते रहे गम का बादल जो छाए तो हम मुस्कुराते रहे अपनी आँखों में आशाओं के दीप जलाते रहे आज बिगड़े तो कल फिर बने आज रूठे तो कल फिर बने वक्त भी जैसे एक गीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है हार के बाद ही जीत है थोड़े आंसू है थोड़ी हंसी आज गम है तो कल है खुशी जिंदगी की यही रीत है आज के बाद ही जीत है जिंदगी की यही रीत है आज के बाद ही जीत है
Thank you, Dr. Katoj. It is always a pleasure to hear you, and we missed you for the last 2 years. And the song was so apt, and it has actually brought tears in our eyes. So, good morning, friends. Good morning, President Dr. Humranwala, Dr. Sucheta Desai, Dr. Praful Boalkar, Dr. Ambrish, my committee members and friends. So, we all are here after 2 years meeting offline, and this 2 years have been very difficult for all of us. After the entry of COVID-19 virus into our life, it has played much havoc into our lives. We lost quite a few gems of homeopathic fraternity, but the biggest loss is the departure of our most revered and beloved sir, Dr. Praful Vijayakar. And we miss him a lot. But I'm sure Sir is showering his blessings from there on all of us to keep up the good work that was always so dear to him, and that was spreading true principles of homeopathy. Since COVID 2019 virus came to India, we all went into an overdrive of trying multiple techniques to prevent this deadly viral infection. We started with washing our hands frequently, wearing masks, washing clothes with Dettol, social distancing, lockdowns, and whatnot. Interestingly, Dr. Hahnemann, he has written extensively on prevention of spread of infection in a pamphlet of 1831 named The Mode of Propagation of the Asiatic Cholera. This was a pandemic from 1826 to 1837. It was a long period where there were many deaths which were recorded because of the Asiatic cholera. His publication came in 1847, which was translated by the prominent British homeopath, Dr. Robert Gudgeon, who then added this pamphlet in his edition of Dr. Hahnemann's lesser writings. The scientist, Dr. Samuel Hahnemann, mentions his observations on the mode of spread of virus, the cholera bacteria, which was quite different from the then prevailing theory. The theory at that time was of miasma, of it being spread through air. And Dr. Hahnemann was the one who said that it is spread by infinitely small invisible organisms which were so murderously hostile to human life and which most probably form the infectious matter of cholera. So this he deduced only from his observations. There were no microscopes at that time, no microbiology at that time. So we can understand how acutely he observed, and his deductive logic was so tremendously awesome. He also deduced that humans are important disease vector. Hence, he warned that medical attendants who handle patients without careful attention to hygiene would spread the disease. He gave directions for sterilizing clothes and bedding for 2 hours in oven at 100 degrees Celsius. He laid emphasis on cleanliness, ventilation, and disinfection of homes. He also observed that certain villages had successfully stayed away from infections by isolating themselves from the infected areas. So much like the lockdowns we went through. We went through lockdowns where infected areas were just shunned away. All these directions he has given in 1831, long back. So we can understand that Dr. Hahnemann was a man with great vision. He had a foresight of microorganisms and germs. He was a real linguist, master of 8 languages, the scientist with innovations far ahead of his time, the chemist with discovery of mercury, which is now named after him as Mercury Hahnemanni, the revolutionary who revolutionized the practice of medicine of his time. We bow down in humility and gratitude to this great benefactor of mankind. I request all committee members, Dr. Humranwala ma'am, Dr. Ambrish Vijaykar, ma'am Sujita Desai, Dr. Golkar, and my committee members to please come up on the stage for lamp lighting, garlanding, and then followed by cake cutting. Thank you.
गुरुर्ब्रह्मा गुरुर्विष्णु गुरुदेवो महेश्वरा गुरु साक्षात् परब्रह्म तस्मै श्री गुरवे नमः.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear. Happy birthday to you.
Happy birthday. तीसरा तीस
It's also on live on YouTube.
Thank you, everyone. So we have Dr. Ambrish Vijayakar today, and I would request him to say a few words. उन्होंने मना कर दिया है उनके शब्द पत्थर की लकीर है हमारे लिए Please, if you will, thank you.
Good morning to all of you. I have said no to seminars and lectures for 1 year, not for talking about Hahnemann or Sir, especially on this platform, IIHP, which has given me everything in my young days. Everything is special today because one, I am back at local self-government where the first lectures when I was a student in my third year were started in the form of study circle. So it takes me back 30 years to when I was in my third year and the first lectures by Sir, by Dr. Humranwala ma'am, by so many stalwarts. As a student, I have started here. So this venue is very special for me. It takes me back 30 years. Second is IHP. I remember 94, 28 years back when I was an intern, how we had started and how we had arranged for the tables, the chairs. For so many years, we had to arrange the tables and chairs, everything ourselves. The wooden chairs, the wooden tables, the cloth on the table, everything that were old memories. And the meetings would be held at Dr. Suchandra Desai's house, and we would be stamping the couriers, pasting it, and I was sent to the post office and I was sent to look for various halls everywhere available, wherever available, because we have to upgrade from the Khilnani school. So all those years are very much in my memory as I go back 28 years into the restarting of IHP and where Dr. Vijayakar sir had this vision that we have to do something in homeopathy. And when I told him, sir, I am worried about my practice, he said, don't worry about your practice, sir, homeopathy will take care of you. So just work for homeopathy and see to it that homeopathy will take care of you. So I never understood what he was saying, how homeopathy can take care of my practice. I have to take care of my practice. But he said, you just work for homeopathy and see how homeopathy will work for you. And after 28 years now, I can see that, as always, he never went wrong. In the last few years, he always used to say that Hahnemann is my God, and till Hahnemann desires that I should keep on working, nothing will happen to me. And when Hahnemann wishes, I will not be there. And now he is sitting next to Hahnemann, his God. So maybe Hahnemann felt that he has done his bit and now the work has to be carried on by others. So I'm sure Dr. Ambrish will definitely carry on the work of unfinished work of Sir, and my best wishes to him and to everyone. I have learnt a lot from Sir and also from Humranwala ma'am because they have been really supportive to us as juniors in presenting lectures, how to present lectures, how to prepare. They have been after us, pushing us on stage that you can do it, you can do it. We have just followed and we have agreed and we have obeyed. That is our credit. But they have been the guiding force, and for so many years, IHP has been running because of their push. Dr. Suchita Desai was a secretary for a long time, and we have worked together for a long time, so those years are never to be forgotten, because those were the struggling years when we were trying to again bring back and reviving IIHP. And after that, the mantle was taken over by Amit, Aarti, Ragna, Dr. Varsha, Dr. Ramesh, and all those new ingredients of IIHP Mumbai team. And so the work goes on. And I'm sure homeopathy will keep on progressing, and there will be support to us not only from the president and the vice president of IIHP, but also from the ex-president of IIHP Mumbai. So with this, I end my short session, but I would say that we have a lot to do to continue the good work, and we are sure that all of us will work together for the benefit of homeopathy, and then, as sir said, homeopathy will take us up. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Gurkar. Call upon Dr. Ambrish Vijaykai. Dr. Sujata, you would like to speak? I'll call upon Dr. Ambrish Vijaykai, please. Good morning, friends. Salutations to Master Hahnemann, my father, our mentors, seniors around here. To imagine this day without my father here is really, really painful, because I have really found memories of those IHP days and IHP lectures. When I was schooling, and I remember I used to accompany my father holding the bag of laptop and cassettes. There were VHS, etc., VCR, etc. And then when I joined my medical schooling, I remember all the team of IHP, right from Dr. Pragya, Dr. Varsha, everybody, they conducted Hanuman Day celebration, and they wanted an event. So I was here on the stage dancing. And then to this day, coming here without my father. But, honestly, to sit besides stalwarts and master, also I feel privileged and honored today, because from where we have learned, Dr. Humranwala ma'am has been an inspiration for all students. And I remember the dynamic duo, that means the partnership of ma'am and sir, president and vice president together, really created history in IHP, if I can say. Because I was a child, I was small, and I used to always ask my dad, Papa, I thought to be Raiwari now. What do you do? Because my mom used to get every Sunday lectures, every Sunday, of course, that's from love. That's from love. Because Monday to Saturday he was in clinic. Saturday he would prepare for his lecture, and Sunday he would come and give lecture here, and then up till 3 o'clock he would do. And then later on the meeting of IHP, along with, and then of course I would like to mention Suchita auntie. She's my auntie, my father's friend. I started my journey of lecturing. I would never forget that from IHP platform. I was in my 4th year. I still remember, and my father handed over the mic to me, and I remember the drug which he told me to take was oral. I had jitteries, and you can imagine. So those were the days, those were the journey. I had special, as Dr. Borkar sir mentioned, and again I asked Dr. Borkar sir to start, because he's also an inspiration to me. Because I started my journey outside Mumbai lecturing with Borkar sir, where he was opening batch when I was a delegate. So, of course, I would not take your time, but to tell you that, my mission, rather the mission of my father, the aim of my father was to take homeopathy to each and every student. Now, he used to always say, Ambrish, I still have to do a lot. At his level, at his stature, he would say that, Ambrish, I want to reach each and every student. Homeopathy is like wild jungle. Those who try to structure it, they are killing it.
it's a wild jungle, and this allow the jungle to grow, and automatically, as Dr. Borkar said, you will when you venture out into a jungle, you will find your own way. That's nature. Homeopathy is nature, and you allow it to grow naturally. And thereby, he started his journey from IHP. Then, of course, with predictive homeopathy, he gradually made sure that he not only reached people, he not only inspired people, but he created a path for doctors to walk where they can get replicable results, what he was also doing. I remember when he just passed away, and there were few senior surgeons coming home, very, very eminent surgeon coming home and asking, coming home for condolences and asking how happened, what happened. So they said, Ambrish, you know what, we are from other fraternities, but the biggest contribution what Dr. Vijayakar had to homeopathy was he gave identity to homeopaths. I hope you all agree with me.
Yes.
He gave identity to all homeopaths, and in that one word, he said that why homeopath can stand confidently and speak in front of allopath or any other system. So here, the inspiration is very important. I'm sure those legends, those masters, they are just coming on this planet for a particular reason and a particular purpose. But we as a youngster, what we need to draw is the sacrifice which they did. And he used to always say from the stage, unless until आप समर्पण की भावना रखते हो towards homeopathy, homeopathy is not going to be. So we need to surrender ourselves. We need to surrender ourselves to homeopathy, and homeopathy, as both doctors have said, would take care of you. So surrendering yourself, commitment was the greatest attributes, which we would take from many attributes of my father. And the most important, which I would like to share here, which I am practicing day in and day out, is he would always better himself. And he used to always say, he used to get up in the morning, even if he's coming late in the night, he used to get up in the morning at 5:36 a.m. with his laptop, and he used to study repertory, mathematical writing. I used to get up morning. I said, Baba, zople na tumi ratri? I zoop lagi na, 4 baje zoop. And I have diaries after diaries of him with me. This morning also, I was just going through I have the Harappa and Mohenjo-daro at home. So, diaries after diaries, and his literature written, Mathematical written. I'm trying my best to collect, because I think even one birth is not sufficient for us to collect all the wonderful pearls for this. So, I'll not take your time, ma'am. Sorry. But just to say that the show will go on, and the show must go on. That was my father. My father always fought till the last. And I'll tell you an example how homeopathy was so deep in him. It was just about a day prior we lost him. He was into semi-stuporous condition, and we were at wit's end. We were fighting there to give him the remedy. And I was on the mobile video call with him, and I was asking, Baba, what do you think? Because we were able to help you. Baba, what is the remedy? What is the remedy you think I should give you? In that stuporous condition, also, he told me he's doing imagination himself. I think Dr. Borkar. So that was the commitment of my father. That was, he was homeopathy and homeopathy was him. And this is what inspires us, that if they at that time also, he at that time also could commit to homeopathy and think about homeopathy. I think we are just on the side of beginning side. We're trying our best, and we make sure the same knowledge, the same energy, the same pearls which he has left behind, we'll try our best with our limitations, trying to take it to the newer generations, and trying to help homeopathy, homeopaths, and the ailing humanity. So before I end, a beautiful phrase which my father always followed, and I would like to quote here. It's in Marathi, that रात्र नाही स्वप्न बदलते, दिवा नाही वाद बदलते, जिंकण्याची आशा नक्कीच ठेवावी, कारण नशीब बदलो ना बदलो, वेळ ही नक्कीच बदलते. Thank you very much.
I feel we are really lucky to have two great homeopaths in IHP. I sometimes we have things so easily that we don't value it till it is not with us. I mean, people would be dying to hear Dr. Vijaykar and Dr. Humranwala, and we were always there with us. And even while talking, even while driving or going anywhere, he would say something which will help us to know about homeopathy. Simple thing he would just mention. Even while traveling in beat for our exam, he would talk something about homeopathy and give us the knowledge. So that was kind of person he was. And we have Dr. Humranwala with us today. She is going to talk about dishonest remedies. So today, instead of reading something about her, which we all know about her, I would say something honest about her. So, Dr. Humranwala and I have studied together. So she was supposed to be an engineer. Took she took admission in an engineering college, but they were going to give the result after 2-3 months. So her parents wouldn't allow her to be at home. Instead of that, they put her to homeopathic college. Imagine if I'm getting engineering admission, why would I study homeopathy? Those 2-3 months we can just chill there. Instead of that, every day she would study her Materia Medica Arnica Montana, first aphorism of organon and anatomy like anything. So in 2-3 months when she got her admission, she told her parents that no, I think I love homeopathy too much to leave it. So it was our benefit that she continued homeopathy. And also there was one small reason. She had bought a cycle of 400 rupees. So she didn't want to waste that money. She said, if I go to engineering college, I wouldn't be using this cycle. So rather do homeopathy. I wish we can give her a gift of small cycle. We have benefited from that. And her sincerity was never, even 1 centimeter away from her. One day we all decided to bunk the lecture of physiology. So 64 out of 65 students were out of the class. Only one student was sitting in the class and calling us, please come back. No, what do you mean? And we are saying, come on, you can't sit in the class. Sir, when sir came, we just ran away. Sir came in the class, she's crying away. Sir saying, what happened? Sir, everyone has left and how can they go? You are going to teach us now? Sir is saying, don't worry, all this happens in college. You also go. And she was so sincere that anatomy for a dissection, as usual, there would be one dead body and 65 students hovering over it. Now, she would study what sir is going to teach on that day. Sir will finish the lecture. No one will move from there except the sir. The sir will go out of the dissection room and your madam will start word by word. There won't be any mistake, so we would have 2 lectures of dissection. So she loved teaching from those days. Even on the last day of her exam, on the day of the exam, some girl would come from Baroda and say, Parinaz, mane khali atlu sikhwadi de. And she would teach those, like one bone she taught one girl. And for her luck, the sir asked, you pick up whichever bone you want to talk on. And she picked up and she couldn't speak. She was laughing away because she knew only that one bone which Parinaz had taught her in the morning. So instead of saying any other things about her, I would say these things about her and I'll give her the mic.
इस साइड पे मैंने लेकिन आप नहीं presentation. अच्छा presentation is this one. अमन करेंगे देख रहे हैं. नहीं आकर. क्यों? अमन करेंगे. पहले के अमन के आकर. First word. नहीं second. हाँ? Second. Okay, मैंने Hello, can you hear me? Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
So the Zoom can hear me.
Yes, ma'am.
Clear now?
Yeah, clear.
You take care of the online thing, huh, beta?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, all right. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, you are clear and audible.
Shivani Akashwani. Akashwani. This is not working. Okay, can you hear me? Shall I call him? Yes. Hello. I'll call that person. Hello. Shall I call that person?
तो मैं start करो. You start. Yeah.
So, good morning to all of you. Thank God. Because these days nobody says good morning back. One of the reasons why we decided at IIHP that we definitely wanted to have a physical, even if it's a small audience, and rest of them on Zoom is so that as a speaker, I feel comfortable. Believe me, talking to webinars has been very tough for me. Okay? First and foremost, I was wondering whether somebody is there on the other side or not there. Okay? And the second problem was, I had to keep myself from falling asleep. The only thing that would not allow me to sleep is suddenly koi bhandi gaste aaj jata tha. Ding, ding, dum, 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 dum. Okay, or some noise coming from here. Ay, kai karte is ye na local. Okay, and it was only these things that would wake up if somebody is there. Just now like Akashwani came. Okay, and honestly only that came. And sometimes I would be looking at the screen and talking. I would talk to myself. Am I normal? Is something wrong? I don't know, the rest of you who gave a webinar, whether you had the same feeling. But I used to completely feel out of place because there's just nobody there in front of you. Friends, one thing that I learned from COVID is life is very short. A casual goodbye could be your final goodbye. That we now can't take life for granted. I remember it was IIHP's 25th anniversary. And on that anniversary day, Dr. Vijaykar was very much there with me. And he gave a lecture. Okay, and as was his style, if he wanted me to talk, he would just say, hey, chal idhar aa, abhi tu bol. Okay, and I would say, nahi, mere ko nahi boli, aapko boli. Nahi, tu aa ja idhar, chal tu bol. And we had so many sessions together of different rubrics. Okay, we would choose one rubric and I would call him up. Naseeb se agar mera phone uthaya to. Okay, and I would tell him, I would say, aap sir, kya kal hum bolne wale hain, saath mein kuch decide करें. तेरे को जो बोलना है तू बोलना, मेरे को जो बोलना है बोला. अरे पर ऐसे थोड़ा होगा, हो जाएगा अपना सारे काम. Okay, and believe me, to date nobody knows that we actually never had.
तुम टेंशन ले काय को ला रहे साहब ये क्या लाने अरे लाने क्या जरूरत सर.
Thank you. I want to change. Give me this. Oh, sir. So, in fact, I welcome Dr. Suchita Desai, who's been our secretary. And the reason why I feel that we always need to respect those people who were our foundation is because they are the ones who have
worked so hard, and today we sit on that house. Okay, so I think we deserve all the other members of IIHP. Okay, have always been extremely supportive. I'm very proud of my team today, and I'm very proud that they are all set together to march ahead after this pandemic and to take homeopathy at an entirely different level. I am very sure, okay, that wherever Dr. Vijaykar is today, he is there with us, and we will be moving forward in life, definitely. Friends, today happens to be Hahnemann's 267th birthday, not today, 10th of April. Okay. And do you know who Hahnemann thought was his best student? कौन था? बोलो. Burning answer. He has himself in his words says, nobody else except you are my best student. कौन था? बोलो. आज Hahnemann का birthday वाइबा ले रही है. Teacher is always a teacher. सेमिनारों में किधर थे? किधर? बोल कौन? पता है कौन? No. उसकी second wife, Melanie Hahnemann. Okay, Melanie Hahnemann. Melanie Hahnemann, friends, has never been given her due. Melanie Hahnemann, when she was 8 years old, at that point of time, she has written in her own words, when children would dissect toys to see what is inside the toy, I would dissect sparrows to see what is inside the sparrow. Very interested in medicine from the beginning. Unfortunately, when she was 15 years old, she was very pretty to look at. And as the records say, her own mother was very jealous of her. And one day it came to the point where she was almost going to slash Melanie. It is at that time that Melanie's father realized, I cannot have this child here with me anymore. He decided that this child now should go and stay with some other guardian. And that guardian was a painter. And she thereafter started living with that particular painter and grew up in his house and became a painter herself. There's a lot more to history, but to tell you this, that then what happened was her health gave way and she couldn't even paint. And when she could not even paint, at that time she was trying to her level best to help herself, and she came across the 4th edition of Hahnemann's Organon. And when she saw this particular edition, at that point of time she said, this is very interesting and I think this is what is going to cure me. And so what she did is, she decided that she would go and meet Hahnemann. To travel from France to Germany in those days was not easy and was not advisable for a lady to go. So what she did is, she wore male clothes so that nobody will identify her. And therefore, thereafter she went to see Hahnemann. Just within 3 months of their meeting, both of them fell in love with each other. It was conveyed to Melanie that Hahnemann wishes to get married to you by Hahnemann's friends. And Melanie writes that it was not anything else, which what she thought is, if I get married, as it is I'm in love, if I get married to this man, I will be completely absorbed emotionally. And I know he is 80 and he will not live long. After he is gone, how will I live life? The rest of the life, how am I going to live? However, what she did is she said, okay, I'm fine, I'm too much in love, can't manage, let's get married. The moment she announced that she was ready to get married, it became the talk of the town. She 35, Hahnemann 80. So then what happened is, everybody said, this woman has come here to take away Hahnemann's wealth. Okay, alright? Wealth लेने को आई है, बराबर है ना? अपने वहाँ होता है, जर्मनी में भी ऐसा होता है. Okay, so I've come here to take. So then she realized that now the only way to convince people that she truly loved him was to cure this. So she told Hahnemann, before you get married, You will have to give away all your wealth, whatever you have, to your children, including the last piece of furniture and linen. And I will make you an equal shareholder of whatever I have because I am quite rich, which she was. And so, with this arrangement, Hahnemann thereafter gave up all that he had to his children, and she decided to have him as a partner. They were in Germany for a short time, not happy, and therefore they decided to then move to France. When they moved to France, at that time, Hahnemann has written back to his friends in Germany saying, "For me, ever since I married this woman, I have found heaven on earth." Okay, friends, let me show you one more. This is Hahnemann's handwriting. This is Hahnemann's love letter. Read it. Read it. It says, "Thoughts and love offering to my dear wife Melanie by Samuel Hahnemann. My dear protecting angel, where is there among the many thousands whose name Mari is celebrated today? Only one who could equal you as regards even a single of your innumerable virtues and qualities. May you live long, healthy, and happy in the arms of your ever admiring Samuel Hahnemann." And this is dated, as you see, from Paris, August 15, 1835. It's a very nice book called The Homeopathic Love Story. He gives Melanie all her due. The marriage lasted only for a few years because at 88, Hahnemann departed. After Hahnemann, just before he departed, see Melanie's diary entries at the time of Hahnemann's death. It's very nice. You can step down. Is it going to be? Yes, ma'am. So it says, 2 days before leaving me, he said to me, "I have chosen you among all my disciples, and I leave you my scientific heritage, which is of such importance to humanity." Read this word. Remember, it may be written by Hahnemann for Melanie, but it holds true for all of us today. Continue to work as we have done for such a long time. Carry on my mission. You know homeopathy and you know how to cure as well as I do. I replied, "But I am a woman. My body is growing tired. My hair has become white under the strain of this difficult work. I have well earned little rest." Now see what he says. "Rest," said Hahnemann, and raised himself up in his bed. "Have I ever rested? Forward, ever forward against the wind. Struggle against the strain. Always cure and everywhere. And by constantly curing, you will compel justice to be done to you. Call faithful disciples to your side. Teach them all that I could not tell them, what you alone know now. Okay? Hand on my tradition, and when your hour to leave this earth has arrived, come and join me where I shall await you." Your body, very interesting, huh? What Hahnemann wished. Your body will be put in the same coffin as mine. Not besides mine, but inside. And they will write on our tomb, "As love united us in life, so does the tomb. As love united us in life, so does the tomb. Ashes to ashes and bones to bones." I promised all he wanted, and he added, "God will recompense you." And in 5 minutes before he departed, he said to me in full tenderness, "You will be mine in eternity." This is the depth, this is the love that both of them shared amongst themselves. You know, when after Hahnemann expired, it was very difficult for her to part with his body. All of us love, right? But at some point of time, you part with the body. This lady took police permission and got the body embalmed. And the body was on the bed, on the same bed that she shared for 11 days. Okay, for 11 days, she continued to share the same bed and said, I cannot have the thought of him not being next to me. Okay, so this is the depth with which the two of them shared and how much they love each other. Since this is Hahnemann's birthday, okay, on a birthday we generally give a gift of something that you like. So at IIHP, I'm giving you the gift of Melanie, what Hahnemann had said. This is the portrait of Melanie who has painted herself of Hahnemann. Okay, she was not able to paint, and she started painting again. And at the age of 38, this is the portrait that she painted. Okay, so friends, coming back to where we were, all of us have had a terrible time. What has the terrible time been? COVID, and COVID. At that time, we were not taking patients inside, everything online. I remember one of the patients telling me, Madam, earlier we used to say that learn to see the cup half full and not half empty. Now is the time to say, जो बाकी है ना जल्दी पी लो, पता नहीं कल का. Okay, and actually so, because we never knew if somebody was shifted to the hospital or somebody even ran 99 fever, all of us would be terribly, terribly terrified. Just after this finished, and we thought that, okay, now we are going down on our cases, some other cases started coming up. And those cases were cases of cyber crime. A lot, because people didn't have money. So people were just somewhere or the other, they were trying to resort to some way whereby they could get money. Okay. There was if you open the paper, there were COVID cases gone, crime cases now increasing. Okay, because the economy had really plummeted. Okay. And what started thereafter was the next epidemic. And the next epidemic I'm calling as the deception epidemic. And that is the reason why I think we need to brush ourselves well now and be well equipped with deception related remedies. So we have the topic. This topic was suggested to me by Aarti, and she said, Madam, talk about honest presentation of dishonest homeopathic remedies. So thank you, Aarti. And as you see, can you just go back to that again? Go back to that. You know, this is an era of emojis. मैंने ये स्लाइड बनाया ना तो तभी गवर्नमेंट ने ऑर्डर निकाला नहीं था मास्क का. ओके, जब ये निकाल दिया उसका साइड भी दिखाती हूँ. Okay, but for you to know that, you know what is this nose long? Can you see the nose is long? Yeah. Okay, I'll show you another picture then. Or next. Okay, next. Can this not work? Let's try. Okay, so you've seen the slide of the shepherd boy. याद है? ये story याद है? wolf वाला? तभी से शुरू हुआ है. क्या हुआ था? Important, huh? I'm going to ask you later. I'm a teacher. Okay, all right. What happened first? There is a wolf boy, and this boy, shepherd boy, he has been told by his master that you have to take the sheep grazing every day to the hills, and every day you must safeguard them and bring them down again. This is your work. All the elders were working down, some cobbler, some carpenter, whoever downstairs, and this boy would take the sheep up every day. One day, this boy thought, कि ये क्या यार, कंटाला आया. Okay, रोज का रोज ये काम कर रहा हूँ, तो चलो मैं कुछ और करता हूँ. So उसने क्या किया? आया, हिल के टॉप पे आया और वहां से चिल्लाया, wolf, help. Everybody came up. Right. Okay. Did anything happen?
वो वाली बात तो help चिल्लाया नहीं.
ओ बेटा मैं बोलूं, बाद में बोलेंगे. There's some problem. You're doing something. Anyway, ऐसा मत करो, इधर बैठ जाओ. So then what happened is started shouting wolf. ये wolf start किया. लोग आए गए, इसको बड़ी मजा आई, हंसा. ये तो बहुत अच्छी बात हो गई. Next day what he started doing is he thought ये तो अच्छी बात है. 2-4 दिन गए, वापस गया, चिल्लाया wolf, सब भागे. ओके आया किधर है बोल मस्ती किया मजाक किया अच्छा ठीक है गया तीसरे दिन वो सच ही वुल्फ आ गया और सच ही वुल्फ आ गया तभी वो जाके बोला मैं सच बोल रहा हूँ वुल्फ आया है आओ मेरे को इधर बचाओ शीप को खा रहा है आओ बचाओ कोई नहीं आया क्योंकि हमेशा जो झूठा बोलता है तो उसको अपने को ऐसे ही लगता है कि झूठा झूठा ही होता है वो कभी सच नहीं बोलता है ओके I'm going to leave the story here. I'm not going to ask you any questions. Okay.
आ जाओ अपनी
Before that, we have a lot of homework.
कोई इसको उठाए
All right. Then after this, the next one that we have, the next slide I'll tell you, is a slide of Pinocchio. Pinocchio याद है? Puppet था.
नहीं
वो हर बार वो झूठ बोलता था.
कैसे गया
और जितना झूठ बोलता था ना, उसका नोज उतना लंबा 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 होते जाता था. Okay. पर एक दिन ऐसा हुआ कि उसको रिमोर्स हुआ. ओके तो ये आपका रेमेडी में रिमोर्स होना चाहिए ओके झूठा बोलने के बाद रिमोर्स होना चाहिए ओके और फिर उसके बाद में वो धीरे 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 करके नोज छोटा होता जा रहा है and then he becomes fine and then the fairy blesses him and he becomes a real boy that's another story these are stories which we learned in our childhood but according to me these are extremely important okay and we should not forget these stories because the moral of the story holds good even today One of the things which we would always say, अगर हमारे friends कोई झूठा बोला, क्या बोलते थे? क्या बोलते तुम लोग कोई झूठा friend होता था तो? झूठ बोले का मार आते हैं. अच्छा, okay. और क्या बोलते थे? Liar, liar, your pants on fire. This is the thing which we used to shout the moment somebody lied or somebody did any cheating. When it came to any game, we would shout this particular thing and say liar, liar. क्या हुआ बेटा? Yeah, it's working. It's working on Zoom. Okay, but here people can see the slide. The laptop got used to the Zoom. Yes. It is happy with Zoom. It's happy with Zoom. Okay.
लैपटॉप चेंज किया आपने
I need the slide now because the slides are important.
पीछे किया था तो वायरस पीछे से लिया
लैपटॉप
के बाद भी चल जाता है
रिस्टार्ट करके देखो ना रिस्टार्ट करके हो जाए
रिस्टार्ट करेंगे जूम भी चला जाएगा
जूम वापस कनेक्ट कर
Okay, so whilst they are doing with this, I'll
Restart कर दे
talk to you something about this itself. All right. Biggest problem, no, is आपको लगता है पेशेंट आपको सच बोलेगा बोलता है कभी पेशेंट सच नहीं बोलता है मैं आपको बताती हूँ देयर केम वन गर्ल आई मेरे पास बैठी एक होती में एंड द थर्ड डॉटर ऑफ माय
निकाल के वापस डालना
parents and they really don't love me because I'm the third daughter and nobody really loves me blah 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 I had an affair और उसने भी मेरे को ऐसा कर दिया फलाना कर दिया वो रोई उसको देखते देखते मेरे को आंसू आ गए मैंने उसको कितना समझाया देखो बेटा इतना खराब नहीं होता है अगर माँ बाप अपने पेरेंट्स को अपने बच्चे को उतना ही प्यार करता है तीसरा हो या
स्टॉप शेयर ये ना रूम को स्टॉप शेयर करते हैं
So I said it's the same thing so it doesn't make a difference don't worry I'm sure there's a better man in your life and because there's a better man in your life that's the reason why this is happening ये सब उसको समझाया समझाने के बाद
नहीं वो डिटेक्ट ही नहीं कर रहे हैं
told her कि मैं तेरे को दवाई देती क्या दवाई दिया नहीं ऐसे तो नहीं किया था सच्ची बोलती हूँ ऑनेस्ट नहीं दिया
नहीं कर रहे हैं
पहले वाला लैपटॉप है ना
पैसे चिल्ला दिया क्योंकि मेरे को लगा कि यू नो और उसको मेरी जिंदगी बहुत अच्छी लगी ऐसे
लैपटॉप चेंज होगा मैंने सुबह इधर लगाया था
अच्छा लगा
उसके बाद ये
अच्छा लगा
सुबह ही चल रहा था सुबह ही लगा
very early in my practice I was very happy after 15 days अपने वहाँ इंडिया में पेशेंट भी आता कई बार पेशेंट का रिलेटिव खुद आ जाता है दवाई
दूसरे लैपटॉप पे
so ठीक है the patient's relative के When the patient's relative came, I said yes. She said I'm the sister of this girl. I said yes. Tell me. So she said, I'd like to know what she told you. I said I'm sorry, but I cannot share the data that this particular patient told
And अभी फिलहाल ये नहीं चल रहा तो
ट्राई तो करना है. She told you that three sisters. I said क्या? नहीं दो ही है. नहीं दो ही है. ठीक है अच्छा दो ही है. Then the next thing she's telling me, उसने बोला होगा कि इसको कोई प्यार नहीं करता. She is a spoiled child. Okay, इतना प्यार करते हैं उससे, बेहद प्यार कर रहे हैं हमारे मम्मी डैडी उसको. So this is absolutely wrong when she says that she is not being loved by anybody at all. Okay, right? So that is done. Then so I said, so then if you know all this, why are you asking me? Then she said, नहीं मैं बताने आई. तो I said मैं दवाई नहीं दे सकती. अभी बराबर है. अभी SL भी नहीं देने का. Okay, क्यों? Because she took me for a ride, no? Right? So I said नहीं. So I said उसको भेजो. उससे बाहर बैठी है देखती हूँ. अच्छा बाहर भी बैठी है. Okay. वो जैसे अंदर आई मेरे सामने बैठी. I looked at her in her eyes. Why did you do this to me? Okay. Because क्या है आपने को हमेशा feel first for yourself, right? So I said, why did you do this to me? And she looked at me and she said, नहीं बेटा कुछ हो रहा है. लैपटॉप बदलना है. और सा किसका कॉर्ड चार्जर HDMI cord. Alright, so then she comes in and looks at me and I tell her what? And she said, she's crying. I said, this time I'm not going to cry. She looks at me and she said, I said, all this that your sister said is right. She looked at me like this.
इसका प्रॉब्लम है. दे देता हूँ नीचे.
Why did you do this?
ऑफिस ये इधर नीचे का है ना, चलिए मैं उनको दे देता हूँ.
समझो हाँ ये अपनी कमजोरी बताता है हाँ. दो होम्योपैथ बिफोर यू. क्या? एक होम्योपैथ के पास गई ना, वो सिर्फ मेरे मुंह पे ही देखा. उसके मुंह पे कोई इमोशन ही नहीं था. हाँ? Lesson 1, you have to learn to participate in the case taking. उसने सिर्फ ऐसे करके देखा. मैं कुछ भी बोल रही थी, उसने सिर्फ देखा. दूसरा मेरे को और कुछ बोल दो. वैसे मेरे को बताया. मैं आपके पास एक्चुअली इसलिए आई थी क्योंकि यू आर गुड एट गिविंग सिंपैथी. दवाई के लिए नहीं. Okay. Remedy still holds that concept. Okay. You don't have to treat essentially the disease of the patient. You have to treat what is ill in the patient. Okay. If you can treat what is ill in the patient, then I think it will become easier for us. अभी बात आई उसपे कि how are we going to catch this people? Okay? कि ये लोग सच बोल रहे हैं ना कि झूठ बोल रहे हैं, पकड़ना बहुत ही मुश्किल की बात होती है. हमेशा याद रखो जब भी पेशेंट बोलता है ना तो as a homeopath you need the eye of a hawk and the speed of a panther. Okay? एक जो बोलता है ना कैसे पकड़ने का without showing any emotion in itself is an art. Okay? For example, just few days ago we had this gentleman who came and who sat and he told me, my mother expired. So I said, yeah, I know. So I said, yes, your wife told me. So I said, and I'm really missing her. And I'm missing everything else in the house. Missing the mother and you're missing everything else in the house. What is he missing in the house? Okay. So I said, आप क्या miss कर? I'm missing the presence of the maids. I'm missing the presence of the maids. ये अच्छा हुआ था कि इसकी वाइफ ने आगे हमको हिस्ट्री में काफी कुछ बोल दिया था, so हम इस चीज के लिए तैयार. This was an adulterous man, but do you think he is going to straight off tell me? But if you read the sentence that the person says, then it becomes very easy for you to catch exactly what he says. कई बार वो लोग जब झूठ बोलेंगे ना, उनकी कोई बॉडी लैंग्वेज हिल जाती. एक बॉडी लैंग्वेज क्या हिलेगी उनकी? एक बॉडी क्या करेंगे वो लोग? हाई कॉन्टैक्ट में लगेंगे. और क्या करेंगे?
लाइट आया था ना ग्रीन कलर का.
ओके, उनके जेस्चर से करना. कोई है ना ऐसा मुंह हाइड करेगा. मास्क तो उनके लिए डबल वैल्यू.
जाके चीजें मंगवा लीजिएगा, इधर बाजू में मिलता है, मेडिकल शॉप है,
क्योंकि इतने दिन अंदर अपने
तो
इमोशंस
आपको
अपन
मिल
अंदर
जाएगा।
रखते थे.
ये चल रहा है, चल रहा है,
So
चल रहा था
similarly,
अभी तो।
over here, they will hide their emotions. Not only do they hide their emotions, हुआ बेटा?
Yes.
ये हो गया.
अभी zoom नहीं हो रहा है?
Zoom भी हो रहा है.
Zoom वाले हो बराबर? कोई जवाब दो. Zoom.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Everything is
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
हाँ मैम हैं.
Thank you. When you do that, I really feel happy.
अच्छा.
You will have to do it.
Yeah.
I can't stand there. Okay, you do it. Yes, बेटा, you have to use this button. See, I'll explain.
ये मत यूज कर, ये यूज कर, ये हमेशा यूज कर.
Okay, so I told you about the Pinocchio. I go ahead. Next slide. Einstein's fire. Next slide. Good physician treats the disease. The great physician treats the patient who has the disease. Okay, very, very important. Remember, and for a homeopath, so this is extremely, extremely important. That is why the emoji is examining the head of the patient. Next. Beta, next.
हाँ, सुपरवाइज भी हो रहा है.
Beta,
उल्टा जा रहा है. अबे चलो.
Just taking its own time, and they are not used to all these special examples. Okay. Okay, so here we go. The good physician treats the disease. The great physician treats the patient who has the disease, as said by William Osler. अभी very important before I proceed. Reasons of lying क्या है? लोग क्यों झूठ बोलते हैं? Okay? क्यों झूठ बोलते हैं? बहुत important है. कोई भी रूब्रिक को रूब्रिक मत लेना. उसके पीछे क्यों पूछो हमेशा. Okay? What are the reasons? First, fear of conflict to avoid having an argument. Okay? Simple. Husband गया school reunion में. बीवी को बोला नहीं. क्यों नहीं बोला? बोलता था तो पूछते थे क्या जाने की जरूरत है? तुम्हारे साथ कौन गया था? हाँ कौन मिली थी? कुछ लफड़ा था क्या पहले उसके साथ? उसके बाद में किधर गए थे? कैसे घर आए? उसको घर छोड़ा? Okay? To avoid all these questions, you do not part with data at all. So fear of conflict. Or a child, it is fear of punishment. Scared of being scolded by the
स्लाइड चेंज नहीं हो रहा मैम जूम पे.
Slide नहीं हुआ change.
Yeah, I will stop share and do screen again.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so we have this fear of कोई बात नहीं तब तक सुनते रहो. Fear of harm.
Thank you.
Fear of harm, protecting ourselves from harm. Fear of rejection, lies to remain popular. पता है मैं तो हर वेकेशन में है ना I go to Switzerland. Okay, अरे इधर से लोनावला भी नहीं गए होंगे. Okay, पर बोलना चाहिए क्योंकि अगर बोले नहीं तो अपनी स्टैंडिंग नहीं रहेगी. Okay, so out of a fear of rejection, lies to remain popular, lies to not lose friendship. Fear of loss, lies to hide so that he does not lose monetary reasons. And lastly, lie to make other people happy. कई बार है ना दूसरे को खुश रखने के लिए अपन बहुत ही चाहे वो कितनी मोटी है आप बोलेंगे बहुत प्यारी लग रही है. ओके बहुत प्यारी. ये झूठ है बराबर है पर ये किसी को हार्म करने वाला झूठ नहीं है. ओके then we come to the part that let us now try and understand that what are the different types of liars that we have. Next go from
Here.
Put this way.
Yeah, it's not happening. Now it is happening.
Okay. So the types of liars. First liar. After having understood liars in this way, friends, what happens is it becomes very easy for you to categorize which remedy speaks lies and why. Okay. The most difficult part is to be able to differentiate the lies of one remedy versus the lies of the other remedy. White liars start lying with best intentions. The lies are often said to avoid hurting your feeling, or making you feel bad. For example, about your dressing, like I gave you an example, or comments to uplift your spirits. या फिर ये कार्टून की तरह बच्चे को बोला जाता है that I am taking you to the park, when actually he is going to land up at the dentist. Okay, but here this type of a lie is a white lie. Okay, and it's not that this is the only remedy. A remedy example of the same is falsity lie. Okay, the next lie that we take, the next lie is exaggerative liars. ये liars क्या करेंगे? They don't feel that they are enough as is, so they try to lie their way, either fit it in, look cool, or to boost their self-esteem. For example, दौड़ेगा 1 माइल, बोलेगा मैं तो मैराथन दौड़ा पर जीता भी. Okay, so this is those people who will talk big to exaggerate, and therefore they are lying. Which are the remedies? Who would have it? One slide. Lycopodium. Lycopodium को तो समझ सकते हो. Calcarea carb. Calcarea carb is a remedy. Too many ounces without a bounce. And this particular remedy always wants to find a way which is always a shortcut to everything. So you will get a calcarea carb politician also. Okay, ऐसा मत सोचना calcarea carb तो काम करता नहीं, indolent आदमी है, वो कहाँ से politician बनेगा? अरे calcarea carb can be the best politicians. Okay, सबसे कम से कम काम करेगा और सबसे ज्यादा पैसा कमाएगा, सबसे बड़ा पेट उसका ही होगा, दिखने में भी. Okay, so calcarea carb you can understand. Now, why does Silesia lie? Mind you, in the rubric Deceptive we have Silesia. Why does Silesia lie? बोलो. Image. अपना image रखने के लिए वो lie करेगा. Mind you, we are now going into the different gradation of lies. Okay, तो अभी Pulsatilla कैसा lie करेगा, थोड़ा कुछ idea आया. अभी Silesia कैसा है, you will know. Lipo does it with this. Plumbum is a remedy which will outright fail people. वो कुछ ना कुछ हंगामा खड़ा करेगा, कुछ बीमारी दिखाएगा, किसी भी तरह से अपने आप पे attention draw करने की कोशिश करेगा. This is an exaggerating of the disease. Whatever be the disease, they exaggerate it, and hence he goes into the exaggerated lie. It does not mean that there is more to this list. These are only a few to just give you an example of the same. The next category, wonderful category, the omissional liar. Omissional liar क्या करता है? Lying by omission is when a person leaves out important information or doesn't correct a prior misunderstanding in order to hide the truth. Okay? ये एक बहुत ही important चीज है. ये आपको समझने की जरूरत है. Alright? I'll give you one example. The mother and the child are sitting, and the mother says, he's very naughty. He was punished in school on Thursday. This child gets up and says, No, I was not punished. She said, You were not punished? You were not punished? She said, I was punished, but it was Friday. समझा ना? अभी क्या किया उसने? हाँ, उसने उसका जो डेटा था वो डेटा इधर से उधर कर दिया. So omitting data is very important over here. Observing silence to hide the truth. It is known even in the court of law कि अगर आपको पता है और आप नहीं बोल रहे हो तो वो भी झूठ है. So कई बार क्या होता है, आपको पता है कि आपकी फ्रेंड झूठ बोल रही है, पर आपको दोनों के साथ अच्छे रिलेशन रखे, तो आप चुपचाप खड़े, आप मोबाइल पे ऐसे घूम रहे, ओके, जिससे आप बीच में ना आ जाओ, पर वो भी एक तरह का you are omitting. So therefore that also becomes an omissional liar. Dressing to show his importance, does not speak but leaves a wrong impact. एक पेशेंट आया था जिसको चीट किया, he himself was deceived, and I said, how did you get deceived? How could you have this? Because he was conned of a lot of money. So I said, आप कैसे, आपको पता नहीं चला, ये आदमी झूठ बोल रहा है, आपको पता नहीं चला? I asked him. He said, नहीं पता चला ना, नहीं पता चला, क्योंकि मैं शोर शराबे में रह गया. तो मैंने शोर शराबे में कैसे रह गई? मेरी ट्रांसपेरेंट विंडोज है, उसने मेरे को फोन करके पूछा कि सर डायरेक्शंस देंगे आपके ऑफिस के लिए. सो मैंने बोला कि मैं आपको इधर आने का है। फिर उसने बोला सर आप जरा बताएंगे, असर आप जरा आपके गार्ड को बोल देंगे। तो मैं विंडो पे जाके देखा उसको उतरते हुए, मैंने देखा वो मर्ग से उतरा। ओके, वो मर्ग से उतरा, वो मर्ग में से उतरा, उसका वैले में आया, सफेद कपड़े का पहना था, उसने खोला, ये आदमी बाहर आया, ये चढ़ के ऑफिस में आया, थोड़ी थोड़ी देर में वॉच दिखा रहा था जो ब्रांडेड वॉच था। मेरे को लगा कि यही ये आदमी मेरे इतने पैसे से इसको क्या। लेटर ऑन पुलिस इंक्वायरी के बाद पता चला ये सब भाड़े की चीज, ओके, ये सब भाड़े। और वो आदमी ने, he did not even have to con this man, the looks of that person conned him. Okay, so this is again another type of conning which you come. So dressing to show his importance, does not speak but leaves a wrong impact. Who does this? Remember, here your psychotic remedies will come into play. Okay, so here you have medorinum, you have lycopodium, you have thuja, you have hyoscyamus who can dress marvelously well. Okay, वो जोकर भी बन सकता है, वो गरीब आदमी भी दिख सकता है, कुछ भी कर सकता है उसका हासिल करने के लिए, उसको जो हासिल करने का। एंड क्यूप्रम एसिटिकम जो थोड़ा कुछ सच बोलता है और बाकी फिर सब मिसरिप्रेजेंट कर देता है। ओके, सो दीज आर द रेमेडीज दैट यू, दीज आर ओमिशनल लायर्स। नेक्स्ट, देन वी हैव डिनायल लायर्स। वंडरफुल दिस इज। डिनायल लायर ना, आप कुछ भी करो वो बोलेंगे मैंने नहीं किया, मैंने नहीं किया। So deny at all costs that they have lied. They will stick to their guns. If you have no satisfactory proof, you cannot prove them wrong, despite you being right. Example, I never said this. I never did this. Examples. I will talk about these remedies later again. However, remedies like opium, thuja, argentum nitricum, और मैं बात करती हूँ। ओके, ये रेमेडीज अपने को डिसेप्शन के लिए इतनी पता भी नहीं है। अपने को पता है गिन चुन के और ओपियम, मॉर्फिनम, ओके, जो 4-5 हाईलाइटेड है वो इतना ही पता है। द रेस्ट ऑफ द रेमेडीज वी आर नॉट यूजिंग इन आवर डे टू डे प्रैक्टिस व्हेन वी सी अ लायर। ओके, आर्जेंटम नाइट्रिकम, मॉर्फिनम, टेरेंटुला, वेराट्रम आल एंड लाइकोपोडियम। नेक्स्ट स्लाइड। आपको याद है इयर्स अगो बिल क्लिंटन का एक ल्यूइंस्की का मोनिका गेट करके हुआ था, याद है किसी को? याद है? When it was at its peak, he had to give a statement in public. This is there on all over Google. You can see him speaking it. I have not attached the video purposely here, but you can see what he says. But I want to say one thing to the American people. I want you to listen to me. I am going to say this again. I did not have sexual relations with that woman. He says like that. That woman. Pauses. Then he says, Miss Lewinsky. I never told anybody to lie. Not a single time. Never. These allegations are false. And I need to go back to work for the American people. Thank you. Okay? अभी देखा आपने deny कितनी बार हुआ और फिर कोर्ट ऑफ लॉ में फाइनली कन्फेस किया। ओके, तो जब भी वो पहले जो झूठ बोला था ना, वो झूठ को एनालाइज करना बहुत जरूरी होता है। दैट्स द वे यू लर्न। ओके, सो दिस इज टू टेल यू हाउ अ डिनायल लायर विल कीप डिनाइंग। नेक्स्ट, मैनिपुलेटिव लायर। ये एक बहुत ही, दिस यू विल सी इन डे टू डे लाइफ। Okay, people who are manipulative, isn't it? I'm sure you must have encountered many yourselves. The manipulative liar, he is sleek and he knows how to convince you or to say or do something you weren't planning to do. Okay? They use tactics like playing with your emotion in order to get what they are really looking for. Tricky and duplicity. Example, sales people होते हैं ना, sales people. हाँ, देखा है आप सभी गए हैं कैसे? सर ये आप ही के लिए बना हुआ है, समझ लीजिए। ओके, आप ही के लिए बनाया है सर। ओके, एंड यू फिर आप मेरे लिए सर, आप जिस दिन पे आए हैं ना, चंद्र का, पूर्णिमा का, फलाना का, ढिकना है, इतना अच्छा मुहूर्त है, अभी आप चेक दे दो सर, अभी चेक दे दो सर। ओके, इतना अच्छा बात करेंगे आपको, आप एक्चुअली जेब में से निकल के चेक भी उसको दे देंगे। ओके, तभी अपने बुद्धि भी मार खा जाता है। इतना फ्रेंडली आदमी कभी होता है, ऐसा लगा ही नहीं कि मैं अपन एक फ्लैट बाय करने को गए है ना? You only realize when you minus some money in your account of what actually happened. Okay, so they are manipulative liars. Who are manipulative? You have thuja, syphilinum. You will have remedies which are common in few. So do not think that it was there. Why is it there again? Okay, you can have a combination of two different types: thuja, syphilinum, Naxvomica, Lachesis, Arsenical, Merc, Veratrum, Lycopodium, Natramute, Tarantula, and Bufo. I will talk about these remedies in detail so that I can give you a better understanding of why each of these is a liar. This is just we are classifying different lies for you to know. See, we are moving miasms when we are going like this. अभी तक है ना अपन एक psychotic miasm पे खड़े हैं. अभी अपन psychotic में से next miasm पे जाएंगे. Next. Now we go to the deadliest of the lot. Okay, who is this? The pathological liar. He lies incessantly to get their way and does so with little awareness. Sifat se, I remember Dr. Vijayka telling so many times, Sifat se karega, Sifat se karega. Okay, so whenever he used to talk about the syphilitic liars. These people are excellent liars because they lie constantly and make up stories unnecessarily, and often it becomes extremely difficult to distinguish the truth from the false statement. Okay, they may incorporate aspects of the previous forms of liars like manipulation, denial, and omission. So pathological has everything except for white lies, everything else included in it. Okay, and it makes the deadliest combination. Next, rules of the pathological liar are: never admit guilt, deny, and deny, blame shift, and then cover up with more lies. Okay, so you can imagine how deadly this is. Remember, you have shifted your miasm here, and depending upon your miasm, you will see the depth of how much they lie and what does the lie do. Very important to know. When you say a lie, you should know the impact of the lie. कि मैं ये झूठ बोलूंगा तो इसका क्या रिपरकशन हो सकते हैं. तो तुम किसी को सूली पे चढ़ा देते हो तुम्हारा झूठ से, तो तुमको वो लगना चाहिए कि मैं सूली पे चढ़ा रहा हूँ किसी को, isn't it? Okay, so the impact of the lie is very important. So this is a pathological liar who is not concerned with your emotions at all. Next one. Pathological lying is also a symptom of different mental disorders. Out of that, pathological lying is a symptom of antisocial personality disorder. क्या होता है? Person consistently shows no regard for right and wrong and ignores the rights and feelings of others. People with antisocial personality disorder, they tend to antagonize, manipulate, or treat others harshly or with callous indifference. They show no guilt or remorse for their behavior. Anacardium, you can understand. If you were there when I took the ODD seminar and I showed you one video of an anacardium child. Okay, then if you go back to that, you will understand why I am saying anacardium, where the girl would slash her brother. Okay, then we have syphilinum, then we have lachesis, and we have coca. Coca, I'll explain to you later why coca is there, because it's not a remedy which we are using on day-to-day basis. Next, narcissist personality. Narcissist कौन होता है? जिसको लगता है an inflated sense of importance, a deep need of excessive attention and admiration, troubled relationships, and a lack of empathy for others. I am the queen and others are my peasants. ये कौन है? Platina. बराबर है? If I explain this to you, remedies will come automatically from your end. Okay, it will need no explaining because it's self-explanatory then. So then remedies are Platina, Lycopodium, and Veratrum al. Next slide. Histrionic personality disorder. Here, what is very important in histrionic is self-esteem will depend upon other people's approval. People with this disorder have an overwhelming desire to be noticed, often behave dramatically or inappropriately to get attention. ये कौन करेगा? Palladium. Understood? Needs no explanation. Hyoscyamus. And lastly, even pulsatilla. Okay, because they are craving that they have approval from your side. Mind you, you can have more to this list. I'm just giving you a few examples of the same. Next. Deceptive remedies which are psychotic and syphilitic will come under pathological line. Which temperaments will fit under pathological? Choleric will lie, the sanguine will lie, the phlegmatic will lie. How they will lie differently from each other. Also remember, it depends upon your temperament combination that you will speak lies. The worst liar will be choleric sanguine in combination. Sanguine को कभी किसी चीज से डरता नहीं क्योंकि वो कल का सोचता नहीं. ओके और choleric को कुछ करते हुए डर नहीं लगता. और ये deadly combination अगर बन गया, then you will have the worst liars and the worst criminals. Then you will see, as I teach you different remedies and I will incorporate the temperament written over there, you will see हर एक में आपको choleric, phlegmatic, ये तीनों में से एक आपको दिखने ही वाला है. Okay, so how does a phlegmatic lie? Phlegmatic always goes for a shortcut, and because they go for a shortcut, they want to do in a little time. They want to accomplish more, and hence they will tend to lie. छोटी छोटी बात का phlegmatic बच्चा होगा तब से वो झूठ बोलना शुरू करता है. Sanguine को बड़ी मस्ती लगती है, झूठ बोलने में और लोगों को हैरान करने में मस्ती लगती है. And in choleric, what you see is they are white collar liars. आपको पता भी नहीं चलेगा कैसे वो झूठ बोलते हैं. Choleric को पकड़ना आसान नहीं होता. Okay, choleric झूठ पकड़ना आसान नहीं होता. Phlegmatic झूठ पकड़ना आसान होता है. Okay, अगर sanguine है तो वो आपको इतना हंसाएंगे कि आप उसका झूठ पकड़ना भूल जाओगे. Okay, I'm not a movie buff, but if you are a movie buff, you can think on lines of these of different characters. I think some Shah Rukh Khan movies, if I'm not mistaken, have all these sort of things there. Okay, and you can then correlate one with the other. कि वो exaggerated लाया था, वो ये लाया था, वो लाया था. So you will be able to easily correlate. Okay. Next slide. Observations during case taking. Now, as I was telling you, पहला body language. क्या करेगा? Fidget करेगा, wriggle करेगा, desk को ऐसे 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 करके tap करेगा. He will also, one of the attitudes that they have is they will sit like this. कहते हैं ना कोई ऐसे बैठता है अपने को डर लगने लगता है. Remember, the way in which a patient sits in your clinic gives you a lot of hints. Okay, there are some people who will use two chairs to sit. एक खाली chair रहेगा, उसके पे ऐसा हाथ रहेगा. There are some people ना who actually वो purse भी है ना legs के बीच में होती है. ऐसे अगर रखना है कोई नहीं लेगा. Okay, that is the way they sit. Alright. There are some people who will sit in such a way कि they are actually वो coil हो गए ऐसा लगता है. ऐसा पूरा ऐसा एकदम. Okay, पकड़ चुका के इधर पर्स है. ये nervous patient है. हाँ अभी next क्या आता है डॉक्टर क्या बोलते हैं? Investigation. Okay. If you ask them, कल आपको है ना सुबह में urine routine कर. Urine routine? Urine routine. Okay, but for them, even a urine routine is a big thing. The body language of a patient when he sits before. Best part is, when the patient comes in, I start reading the case. Okay, because I am not with the assistant is taken. When I am reading the case, very often I'm from the back, from here I am actually looking at what the patient is doing. कोई दूसरे को ऐसा नच कर रहे हैं, कोई ऊपर देखता है, कोई मोबाइल में है. These all are hints. आपको बाद में जो क्वेश्चंस पूछने हैं उसके लिए ये सब नोटिस करने का शुरू कर दो कि पेशेंट क्या करता है, कैसा करता है. ओके, जब भी पेशेंट क्लिनिक में आता है, which is one of the points here also, never see how he behaves with you. Always see how he behaves with your staff. See the way he behaves with your receptionist. Okay, क्या खाली पीली लाके इधर बिठा देते हो, 20-20 मिनट बैठाते हो, क्या है, क्या लगा रखा है, क्या हमको टाइम नहीं है, क्या फलाना है, ठीक ना. सो मेरे को अंडरस्टैंड ये ना थोड़ा लेगा, थोड़ा नहीं संभाला. Okay, my loving receptionist will call me to settle and guard me that way. And sure enough, hello doctor, how do you do? I heard a lot about you. Okay, okay, बताइए क्या हुआ बात. Alright. So I say, I'm fine, thank you. करके बैठिए. कई बार वो लोग आएंगे तो the way in which they will ask you questions. Okay, हर एक चीज का वो लोग खुद questions पूछते हैं. आपके पास से हर चीज का हिसाब मांगते हैं. आपके पास से टाइम था भी, जैसे मेरे पास एक आया ऐसे ही लेट था, लेकिन वो one of the remedies, though he is dishonest, he is also honest, is not Swamika. Not Swamika is dishonest, okay, but he is also honest. आया जैसे मैंने पढ़ना शुरू किया ना, ऐसे करके उसने उसका टाइम देखा, लेकिन टाइम क्यों देखा, जल्दी पढ़ने लगी, जल्दी पढ़ने लगोगे, कोई कोलेरिक लगता है, जल्दी पढ़ने लगो, सब पढ़ा. Then as soon as I finished reading, he asked, how many more minutes? Okay, how many more minutes? So I said, I'll take 15 to 20 minutes. All right. Okay. Then he went on. After he went on, he said, the time that I have come in, 20 minutes of this time, there are at least 15-20 people waiting outside. I know, I should feel flattered with that, right? Mute kar beta. So I thought he is trying to tell me that. Then the next sentence that comes from him is very clear. Do you know? He's telling me, do you know you are a national waste? I thought I was patriotic. I thought I love my country. Yes, Shabd. So, होम्योपैथ में ना पेशेंट को अपने को कुछ भी बोले ना, खराब नहीं लगाने का, ओके, उसका नमस्ते करने का, अपना रेलिडी बोल रहा है, अपना काम इजी हो गया, ओके, alright. So I looked at him and saying, do you know, 20 into 15 multiply करो कितना हुआ, उतना effective minutes of the people of India you have wasted because they are sitting here doing nothing except waiting for you. Okay, उसका कैलकुलेशन देखो, ये आदमी में आपको क्या समझ में आया, एक तो ऑनेस्ट है, यू हैव टू गिव इट टू हिम, ही इज ऑनेस्ट आल्सो, बराबर है, ऑनेस्ट, और दूसरा क्या है, हाँ, वेरी क्रिटिकल एंड सेंसोरियल, isn't it? He is absolutely critical and he means business. Okay, he means business. Okay, there is nothing at all other than that he wants. He just wants that and nothing else but that. So as I was telling you, tightly crossing arms, avoiding eye contact, then says things that do not make sense. कई बार है ना, केस हिस्ट्री 10 पाने की होती है, पर अंदर कुछ होता ही नहीं है. So when things are actually not making sense at all, then he says contradictory things. कुछ पहले अलग बोलता था, बाद में अलग बोलता है. Okay, saying contradictory things. Next you will see voice change, speech change. ये a particular point है that I picked up from years ago from a criminal side. Okay, criminology सिखाते हैं ना वहाँ. बोलते हैं कि जब इंटरोगेशन के लिए बुलाते हैं तो पहले कैसे बोलेंगे. अमित, चल मैं तेरे को ही पूछती हूँ. What is your name, sir?
My name is Dr. Ambrish.
Where do you stay, sir?
Same one.
Okay. So how many children do you have, sir?
I have one daughter.
Which college did you go to?
Right now, I'm not going to.
Earlier, which college did you go to?
CNB Homage Medical College.
Okay, alright. अभी don't worry, मैं आगे नहीं पूछूंगी. Okay. अभी मैंने क्या किया पता है? इसमें मैंने क्या लगाया? मैंने माप तोल लगाया इसके आवाज का और इसके वॉइस का, जो अपने को 100% पता है कि ये सब बात जो बोली है वो सच्ची है. अभी आगे ये अगर झूठ बोलेगा तो किस तरह से इसकी स्पीच बदलेगी, is I will know then. So remember, in case taking, your ears need to be open for you to be able to catch कि उसका स्पीच बदला, उसका वॉइस बदला, उसका टोन बदला, आया. Okay, which means this patient in all probability is lying. Hawks or cocks. Just 2 days ago we had this fellow, old man, ऑनलाइन केस लिया. मैं बोला ऑनलाइन केस में मजा नहीं आया, इसके बेटे को फोन करो और कुछ सिम्टम्स निकालो इसके पास से. So I called up the son. So I told him, I said, Raymond, जरा पिताजी के बारे में बताओ. अच्छा, now he has been with me taking homeopathy for the last 30 years, huh? So and he has brought so many patients that after case taking he knows. Okay, so he's like, मैं आपको एक बात बताऊं, हम सब भाइयों को पता है कि जब भी डैडी खांसने लगते हैं वो झूठ बोल रहे हैं। तो बोला कैसे? जब भी उनको चाहिए ना पैसा चाहिए, हेमंत 1000 रुपये बात कर देना है, हेमंत सुना क्या तू? Okay, so everybody knows कि ये खांसना उनका झूठ है. Okay, so coughing, hawking, गला घड़ी साफ करना is also a very important sign. Some people जब एक पॉइंट पे आप आओगे ना, जब भी वहां से वो सच निकलने वाले, एक ऐसा जोक क्रैक करेंगे कि आप भी वो झूठ बोल, आप क्या पूछते थे वो भी आप भूल जाओ. Okay, so joking. Then the use of non-congruent gestures. What are non-congruent gestures? आपने मेरे को एक क्वेश्चन पूछा, मैंने बोला yes, yes, yes. Okay, ये क्या हुआ? Yes, yes, yes. Am I saying no? Am I saying yes? Okay, so the action does not match the words. Okay, these are non-congruent actions which you need to remember. Sometimes some patient says nothing. कुछ बोलेगा ही नहीं. You can go and knock your head against the wall and try and take as many symptoms, but you will get nothing from it. These are patients who are the secretive sort, and these secretive patients do not want to spill the beans under any circumstances. कोई आते हैं लैकेसिस जैसे बदमाश होते, इतना बोलते बंद कर जाते. Okay, finally you get tired and say, और इतना बोलने के बाद आपको जो पूछने का था वो तो नहीं करा. Okay, so आप तो वो केस में finally अधूरे ले गए क्योंकि बाहर लोग बैठे हैं, पता चलो अभी. Okay, so you have to abandon, but they say too much. And lastly, as I have told you, the conduct in the clinic with the staff. Okay, are you clear with me? But what time is your break? You tell me, huh? कितना बजा कितना?
5 minutes.
5 minutes. You want to go ahead or?
You have something, one topic finished?
Okay, I'll take one more. I'll take a 5 minutes.
Okay.
Now, friends, it is very interesting to know how the rubric has evolved in every repertory. Every repertory has its own philosophy. Every repertory which came first, then came, it went on like this. Each author had a different perception of putting it in. When we go to Bodinghausen, a very old repertory, we have only 10 remedies under deceit and cunning. How many? Only 10. Go to the next. When I go to the complete repertory, I am now having 56 remedies. How many? 56. How many remedies out of this do we actually know? Hardly, right? Unless you really go and dissect it, and only then you'll be able to get more understanding of each of them. Next page. Abhi, supposing I go to Murphy. Murphy is the only repertory which is given you a rubric as being dishonest. Okay, and under dishonest, you have the following remedies. It is interesting to know that some authors leave off some remedies, some include the remedies. The good thing about complete is complete gives you the author of who has given the inclusion. For example, in Deception, there are a lot of inclusions which have come in from Gallaverdine. Okay, and a lot of repertory references you see with Gallaverdine there. And then you go to Gallardine's Materia Medica and you correlate from there and see how he explains. But unfortunately, the explanation in all our master Materia Medicas is rather short. Okay, or it is only given as one. So therefore, you have to know the whole remedy to be able to understand and explain why the deception of one remedy will change from the other. Now, friends, in my practice, one of the things that I used to find is that over a period of time, we become routinist in prescribing. अपने 10-15 रूब्रिक है ना बहुत प्यारे हो जाते हैं, बराबर है? Agrees everybody?
Yes.
फिर हम क्या करते हैं? वो ही यूज करते रहते हैं, बराबर है? कोई भी आदमी आया जो कनिंग है और जो डिसीटफुल है, what rubrics will you use? What rubric will you use?
Deceitful.
Any other remedy? Any other rubrics you want to use? Any other rubrics you want to use? मैंने इतना बोला exaggerated liar, white liar, फलाना liar, ठिकना liar, किधर गया आप सब? किधर गया? बोलो. Deceptive के अलावा भी तो वो कोई हो सकता है. So what I found was that it is important for us to be able to understand 2, 3, 4 very close-looking words, to be able to understand the meaning, and then to be able to go to the right rubric to be able to pour in it. Okay, so that we do not continue to use the same. So when I did my presentation on temperas, when I started working on temperas, incidentally Nivedita coming in is one of the persons who has been very helpful in doing this particular software of mine which we have done. Okay, and over there what I found was that words look similar to each other, but they are not the same. Okay? Next please. So supposing we talk about plain and simple deceitful. तो deceitful क्या है? Dishonest है और deceptive है. Okay? अभी और एक चलो. इसके अलावा we have one more. What is this? This person is manipulative. ये भी आया अपना manipulative liar में आया. Yes. So manipulative. Who is manipulative? He is skillful in influencing or controlling others to one's own advantage. Okay. Right now it seems easy. Now if I ask you, चलो manipulative के rubrics बोलो. Manipulative आदमी है, पता चल गया manipulative. अभी क्या करोगे आगे? क्या rubric लोगे? Zoom वाले क्या rubric लोगे manipulative के लिए? कोई बोल रहा है?
Checking.
अच्छा म्यूट किया है
नहीं चैट मैडम डिप्लोमेटिक
रूब्रिक मिलेगा क्या बेटा रूब्रिक मिलेगा क्या डिप्लोमेटिक रूब्रिक होना चाहिए ना नहीं तो डिप्लोमेटिक मटेरियल में से प्रूविंग में से निकाल के वो दिखा दो निकलेगा malicious yes maybe yes right any more sorry hypocrite yes very good see they seem to be more active than us come on girl. Very good, Zoom. Keep it going. Tell me more. Selfish, yes. Selfish. Yes, in a way they can be selfish. Okay, I'll mute you again because I'm going ahead. Mute, beta. Okay, after manipulative, we have another section which comes in. And what is that? You have persons who are very crafty. ये rubrics है अपने पास. Okay, crafty. Crafty कौन होता है? Sly. फॉक्सी कनिंग स्किमिंग ये कौन सा रेमेडी है जो आपको डेफिनेटली पता है कौन सा है बराबर है तो पेरेंटिला जैसे और 20 भी है हां ओके सो दीस आर द रेमेडीज नेक्स्ट देन व्हाट एल्स इट कुड बी देन यू हैव दिस एंड दैट इज चार्ल्टन बराबर है एक बार सीएमपी की ओपीडी में हां नॉट इन माय पर्सनल प्रैक्टिस द डेज व्हेन आई यूज्ड टू गो टू सीएमपी There came a doctor who practices in Bhiwandi. Okay? उसने आके उसका नाम दिया मैं उसको डॉक्टर एक्स बुला रही हूँ. Okay? बोला मैं डॉक्टर एक्स. केस लेते लेते सेकेंड ईयर के स्टूडेंट को पता चल गया कि आदमी झूठ बोल रहा है. उसने मेरे को बोला मैडम मैंने कुछ बोला कि आपको कहाँ देख तो मेरे को बोलता है ना मेरे को इधर फीवर में बहुत दर्द है. So she said इधर फीवर में बहुत दर्द है नहीं सर फीवर इधर है जिधर में क्या फर्क पड़ता है इससे क्या फर्क पड़ता है remember taking a case and making the patient talk and that too in the presence of at least 20 students is not easy ये आदमी धीरे धीरे करके अंदर से निकला कि ये आदमी पहले किसी का कंपाउंडर रहा करता था कंपाउंडर रहा कर जब वो कुछ 11th 12th स्टैंडर्ड में था he came from UP and he started working as a compounder. In 2 years ये realized कि ये डॉक्टर साहब तो ये 4 ही दवाई देते पूरी प्रैक्टिस इसमें ही चलती है तो मैं इतने पैसे क्यों कमाऊं मैं क्यों ना डॉक्टर बन जाऊं वो गया वापस वहां जाके कुछ जाली सर्टिफिकेट लेके आ गया जाली प्रैक्टिस करते हुए you're smiling because I'm sure you know many people that's practicing after you was practicing एक दिन किसी ने बोला तेरी ये डिग्री चलेगी नहीं तेरे को है ना दूसरी डिग्री चाहिए ये तेरी कॉलेज अभी अनाउंस हो चुकी है तो उसने भाड़े वाला डॉक्टर चुन लिया जिसका उसने जाली नाम लगा दिया बोर्ड के ऊपर और he was practicing under that doctor why falana whatever and he was continuing a lucrative practice. तो मैंने बोला भाई आपको डर नहीं लगता कि अगर आपको कुछ नहीं आया हमको इतना होता है तो भी हमको डर लगता है कि भाई सब अच्छा चलेगा क्या होगा फोन करो अच्छा तो है ना despite that over here you are not even नहीं वो बुखार आता है 3 दिन ट्रीट करने का चौथे दिन सुपर स्पेशलिस्ट को रिफर करने का कट जमा करने का हो गया ओके ऐसा कभी ऐसा हुआ नहीं ऐसा होएगा ना कि ऐसा आया ना नहीं चलो मैं ही तुमको लेके जाता हूँ कि मैं ही उनको मेरी गाड़ी में बिठा के लेके जाता हूँ सुपर स्पेशलिस्ट को लगता है तो सब हमारे पास सुपर स्पेशलिस्ट के पास आ गए ये क्या है दिस पर्सन इज वन हु क्लेम्स एक्सपर्टीज that he does not have. He is a quack or he is a con. Okay, next. Fraudulent. आजकल इसकी तो कोई कमी रही ही नहीं है. Okay, आपका कार्ड के ऊपर से फोटो सब स्विच हो सकता है. Okay, कुछ रही ही नहीं है. Okay, the way in which there are so many frauds that are happening. And the last one we go to, which is the worst one of the lot. ये कौन है? It's a dictionary word which we found with great difficulty as Nivedita would know because I was trying to find something which was not this but is this. A person who is inwardly evil but outwardly professes to be very virtuous. ये कौन हुआ? हाँ? बाबा बराबर है. बाबा जो जाके रेप करता है. बराबर है? हाँ? This is so you cannot put that Baba under the category of deceitful. You will have to put him in this category of whited sepulture. पर ये words लेके नहीं मार गए. Now, after you come back from your tea and a piece of cake, we will now go to these words and I'll tell you about the different rubrics that you could possibly have for each of these words that I have shown you. So, come back soon. We have a long way to go. Okay?
Wait a minute. Just wait for 5 minutes.
Just wait for 5 minutes. What is it? टी आया नहीं है. टी नहीं आया तो आगे चलूंगी. No problem. सभा चालू तो करिए. Yes. This request was I also have to make. Beta, all our kids here, are doing a lot of mehnat and trying to, give you as much knowledge as possible. We from our end will do our best. In 1,000 rupees, there are 10 lectures or 12 lectures. 10 ki 12? 10 lectures that we provide through the whole year. Please register yourself. Okay? 1,000 rupees is not really a big deal. And it is not that we are restricted to one school of thought. We invite anybody. We invite everybody. And there is diversity and you are exposed to so many speakers. My request to you is, please enroll yourself. People on the Zoom, are you hearing me? People on the Zoom, are you hearing me? Unmute card.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Try to keep our online session also on simultaneously as we have the physical. Request you to please enroll yourselves. Okay, please enroll. 1,000 rupees and you get 10 sessions. Okay, and there is a lot of hard work that goes in for everybody, from the speaker down to all the people who manage everything. Please do it. Do you promise?
Yes.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Shall we break for tea? Or no, you want to say something?
Yeah.
This one.
लोगों की लिस्ट नहीं है. Hello. Good afternoon, friends. Just two minutes about IHP because a lot of people here and a lot of people online are new about IHP. Would like to just tell you a brief description about IHP, what IHP has been.
Which one? Slide, slide. ये भी पीछे आ रहा है ना? नहीं हो रहा है। इसको स्लाइड करना।
आप लोग खा लो यार, बोल दो मम्मा से ना।
Yeah. So Indian Institute of Homeopathic Physicians, Mumbai. Slide. Yeah. So we started 28 years back in service to homeopathy. Lectures have been conducting since 1994. I think few of them might not even have been born that time. We have a lot of young students also coming. So the lectures have been going since 1994. The institution is essentially for betterment of homeopathy. Our current president is Dr. Parinaz, Humranwala, and our vice president is Dr. Parinaz. Next slide. Our mission is to make clinical knowledge available to every homeopathic doctor and be a platform for discussing and sharing experience at a very negligible cost.
सर स्लाइड नहीं चेंज हो रही है.
Yeah, just a second. And I'm sure you all should agree because there have been seminars, they charge a bomb for lectures, but in that I'm not that against anything, but we are trying to provide knowledge at very negligible charges.
Sir, slide.
Yeah. So as you know, the lectures have been conducted since 1994. On first Sunday of every month, we have our lectures. We have lectures from various schools. We have Dr. Parinaz Humranwala, Dr. Praful Borkar, Dr. Bandish Ambani, as Madam told, lectures from all schools. Dr. Praveen Jain, Muktinder Singh, Dheeraj Nanda, and Dr. Vijayakar, who always used to be there. So as you all know that this is a non-profit making organization. We charge 1,000 rupees for 10 lectures in a year, starting from
Slide,
April.
please sir, slide not engaged.
There is some technical problem. Please hold on. Okay. So we charge you 10,000 rupees for 10 lectures in a year, starting from April to March. Next slide. So any of you who wants to join for the full year, we have a lot of interesting lectures this year also. We have had a lot of good lectures in the last few years. You can contact Dr. Vinod, you can contact Dr. Aarti, you can mail us. So last few years, as Madam just told that we had a lecture of oppositional defined disorder around 3-4 years back. Then we had lecture by Dr. Praful Vijayakar along with Repertory Homeopathy we had organized at Sophia College. Then we had a seminar on pediatrics by Dr. Parinaz Humranwala. We had a seminar on homeopathic medicines in grief. Just like today we have taken this topic, we had taken grief around 4-5 years back. So that was taken by Dr. Humranwala. We had a seminar on ADHD. We had a seminar only on concordance, which Dr. Borkar had taken around 5 years back. We had a seminar on kingdoms. The next slide. Even during last 2 years, we were stuck in March 2020 that what should we do? Because we could not conduct our Hahnemann Day in April 2020. But then Zoom came and we thought that let us start on Zoom. So we started our lectures on Zoom. And the first year, June 2020 to March 21, we had all lectures. Every month we had lectures on management of COVID. We invited different speakers, their experiences with COVID cases. So every doctor every month used to share their experience, the cases that they were seeing daily. They used to show those cases in the first year. And the next year, June 21, we had Dr. Dheeraj Nanda on rubrics. We had Dr. Munjal Thakkar on susceptibility. We had Dr. Praful Borkar, Dr. Praveen Kumar from Hyderabad on observations. These were all online lectures. Next. So that's it from my side. Thank you so much from Indian Institute of Homeopathic Physicians. Thank you. Would request all of you to join, whoever is not joined, because as you heard that Dr. Borkar told that when he was 30 years back, he had joined IIH, he had started as a study circle, and that was probably the third year he joined IHP, was the first lecture of IHP. Similarly, I was also in my third year or fourth year when I had joined IHP, and as the same experience is what Dr. Borkar told. Dr. Vijayakar always used to tell me that if you do something for homeopathy will तुम्हारी लाइफ का सब चीज अपने आप, सब पत्ते अपने आप सही करके जाएंगे. So that is what always happened in my life. Thank you so much. Thank you.
We are meeting with our new team for the first time physically. Everybody knows who is the president, who is the vice president, but we are taking this opportunity to present gratitude in front of everybody. Please, madam. Our president, Dr. Humranwala. Yes. So, I request Dr. Varsha to present. Let this grow very big, as an IHP will grow big and bigger. Thank you very much, madam. Now I request Dr. Porkar to come and acknowledge our vice president.
See, in IIHP, one thing is that we don't have any post. We are a team, so there is nothing like vice president, secretary, communication secretary. Even our communication secretary can command the vice president to come on time. So, and she can fire us. She has all the right. So there's nothing like that, and I'm very happy to work with IIHP, and we have learned a lot from our mentors like Dr. Suchita Desai. Like she has trained me. Actually, I would say Dr. Suchita Desai has trained me a lot in how to speak, what to speak, from the time of making receipts, making notices, posting them. All that I have learned from Dr. Suchita Desai. So thank you to you, ma'am. Thank you so much. And ma'am, Dr. Humranwala ma'am and sir, they have been our guiding forces. Always, though they were sometimes very critical, and we took that criticism in the right sense, and that's why we are here. Thank you, ma'am. Thank you.
We need this post to keep a gun on. So that's why we are creating that president and vice president. Thank you very much. We can have a 10 minutes break. Tea and snacks outside. Thank you. As you understand, giving it.
I'm going to share. Please. Today I have
Next weekend.
Saturday, Sunday. Years. Last was 2000.
These were the last.
2013 only. त्याच्यानंतर एक 30 मध्ये एक फक्त मॉड्यूल झाले मध्ये प्लेट पण आपण Anyone wants water? Yeah, thank you.
And I am one person not live without school.
Why you are doing this?
Last year,
I listen. उसने इंसिस्ट किया इसके लिए मैंने खाया.
Actually, see, COVID and diabetes was the worst. And I not everything. I want to master of share. Stress also very bad. December के बाद बहुत difficulties है. Too much and निकल गया मतलब नहीं चाहिए जाने तो मेरे को पता भी बहुत नहीं पड़ा बोल रहा है हाँ पर वो तो बाद में मेरे को लगा मुझे कोई इसको 10 जन फोन कैसे कोप है कुछ पता है मुझे भी पता चला तो मैं परेशान करती हूँ and then I was there building what C. So I'm living in another house separate, and I'm not able to see my brother. My brother, I'm completely then, I'd rather be in myself than have any village of find my love so much. रूबरी समझी लीजिए समझे हमारे Now I'm going to take all the after I finish the I'm going to take a case. After I finish the case, I'm then going to take the case. After I finish the case, I'm going to ask questions.
There are so many experiences that you have.
नहीं अभी भी मैं बोलती हूँ ना मेरे सामने वो पेशेंट ऐसा है
ये भी है खाली ये भी
તમારા માટે વિકલ્પ શું હોય
कोई मैंने अभी मैं टीवी में भी हल्दी शुगर का
બીજી કઈ એક્સપ્રેશન
you cannot
dilute the sugar. You have one without sugar. You dilute the sugar.
Intention was
black के milk body आजकल black and white you know that what can be one excitement physical चलो आज लंच है इसलिए सेलिब्रेशन people are have night out for the particular lecture online कॉफी का होगा नहीं होगा यहाँ पे भी सबको और सुनना चाहिए वो एकदम पीछे आके करके पहले आके करके चेक करेंगे अभी चला
थोड़ा नीचे पर एंटरटेनमेंट होता है
same time no, even once he kept on saying, went on and on, and we didn't realize that he is like disconnected from us. Half an hour, after half an hour, we didn't realize. उन्होंने silent रखा. In the silent way, हम लोग बोलते हैं, हाँ. बोलने का रह गया यार, तो मस्त था. Experiences. आकाश में तो नहीं कुछ होता शूट का कुछ करते दो टाइम पे ऐसा कुछ तो रहेगा
तभी it was called Sanjay.
Sanjay.
It was called Sanjay.
We'll meet up sometime. Yes. Come for the session. Okay? Come. I'll call you when you have to come.
Yes.
Okay? Come.
Thank you.
We running and going. Like last Sunday I finished running. Today I finished running. Next Sunday again I have another 4 hours. Call her. No, 2 offline. Next time Baroda. That's a huge one. मैंने तो मजा नहीं आता मैं आके देखना लोगों I gave one मजा ही नहीं कुछ एनिमल पूरा लीगा इस बार का पूरा लीगा उन लोगों ने ऑनलाइन किया from so many countries and so many people पूरा लीगा all over the world with different languages, with translations, and they have made so many foods. So you choose which one to go to. Nice arrangement. Make your own timetable. ये रूम में इतने बजे रहूँगा ये रूम में इतना you guys have that yes
क्या है पता है कि मेटावर्स का वहाँ पे लैंड यू कैन बाय लैंड इन पंजाब इन मेटावर्स यू कैन बाय that is metaverse of the universe. Of the universe. And you can go universe metaverse. It's a universe. Virtual universe. Something like that. Thank you so much. अभी तो पेरेंट्स को ही ऑन द वे बच्चों को तो चलते हैं
मैं थोड़ा पेरी लो हमें
हाँ हाँ स्टार्ट करिए hello. So our next lecture would be in the month of June, and anyone who wants to register for annual sessions can register outside with Dr. Aarti. And we have lunch today for everyone. I'm sure everyone must have taken the cake. And we have lunch today. Lunch coupons are available with Dr. Ramesh Pathological. Dr. Ramesh Pathological is there outside. Please collect your lunch coupons. Lunch is available at the canteen below. There's a canteen just from where you entered on the back side of the canteen.
Nice lunch.
There's a nice lunch, as said by Dr. Aarti, because the menu has been selected exclusively by her. Handcrafted.
Acha.
So please collect the coupons from Dr. Ramesh. It will be at 2 o'clock. Thank you so much. Anyone didn't have cake? Everyone had, huh? Because we have it.
Yes, madam. Just 1 minute. Huh? Maybe close this and then. I will share this one again. Yeah.
This has to close. This has to close. Can you? How do I log out of this one? Make this small.
1 second. Shall I close this? So let's start sharing. Okay, open.
Can you connect it? Check and take it there. Connect.
No, it's not that. It's opening.
That's it.
Oh, the circle was coming.
Anyway, this is not working.
Yeah. Problem furnish. It is not this, right?
No, it is not. But I'm chair.
Yes.
Restart guys, the problem is
Restart. It's okay, you can restart. We will log in again then.
wait.
You done?
Yes.
Yes.
मेरा presentation किधर है? मेरा presentation
Yes. Desktop पर चलो. I will stop this video so that we can arrange in the meantime. नहीं अभी होगा.
करती हूँ फिर मेरे को सीधा भी इधर ही जाना है. Instead go here only.
So shall I start sharing? Man, this one you want? Or
Now this I only have to sit and do there. So
Okay.
I will only have to come there and sit.
Come and sit.
So if I sit here, will I be very close to the camera?
But your window will be here.
Oh, that's okay.
Huh.
I'll sit here and do it.
Okay. If I can help, can I help or here?
Or you do it. I think I'll do it myself. Okay, are we all back?
Yes.
Yeah, I remember years ago. Okay, so welcome back Zoom and welcome back YouTube. I mean, yeah, YouTube also. Right? So, welcome back to all of you who are listening. Okay, so years ago I had this one high-ranking police officer who came to me. I remember his words. And I was asking him all these questions of him, idhar se, udhar se, udhar se. Then after a while, he began smiling. So he's saying, so I said, why are you smiling? So he's telling me, मैडम जो बात हम मार मार के निकालते हैं ना, आप प्यार प्यार से निकाल रहे हैं. Okay, so remember in some sorts, every homeopath is a sort of a detective. Okay, लेकिन बिना sentiments hurt किए हुए amount of information निकालना है. Okay, never ever step a certain limit just because you want to grab symptoms. You might give the right remedy, but you will set fire in that person's life, and that is not what homeopathy is intended to do at all. Rapid, permanent, gentle. Okay, so be very gentle even when it comes to your case taking. Alright, so now friends, what we do is we go to the rubrics for different, so I'll sit there so that I can access my phone easily. Thank you. Okay. Alright, so now friends, like I told you, no, we know one word, but you don't know what rubric to take. Taking in this part into consideration, I had evolved this whole software. Okay. Now, there are many words. Today I have just taken one deceitful. Okay, but there are hundreds of words like this which we have considered. Now, what I do is I straight go to the one which we need, and that is going to be deceitful. So I will take deceitful. For those of you who are entirely new to it, no, any person is always known in a three-dimensional way. People who know you at home might have an entirely different view about you. Your friends will think entirely different about you. Okay? And at work, you may be an entirely different person. So it is very important during case taking and history that we need to have a three-dimensional view, okay, of how the patient is. And hence, in your case taking, it is important to know the patient at work. What is it that is your impression? What is your impression with your friends? And what is your impression with your family? And based on that, we have had these different groups. And so if I change and I go to main features here, you will see an entirely different group over here like this. Versus if I go to as a friend, so you see these are the main features which the patient will describe you. As a friend, how is he as a friend? Is he a boaster? Is he very cautious? Is he very charming? Or as a family member, what is his impression? He is admired by his children. He is anxious before his child's exams. How is he at work? Argumentative, avoids conflict, indecisive, confident. As compared to that, then we have what are the person's assets, what are his positive points, and what are his negative points. So in this way, we are able to summarize the patient entirely from all directions. You cannot judge a patient from one single incident, but sometimes one single incident will give you a window from which you can probe further and understand the patient. Okay. Now, supposing again I go back over here and I go to deceitful. So what we do is when I go to deceitful here, friends. Okay. Then I go to deceitful over here. I want you to keep in mind that over here, these words that I'm showing you are parallel words which look like deceit but is not necessarily deceit. Okay. For example, I told you earlier that a person who is deceitful is dishonest and deceptive. As compared to that, when I go to Charlton, over here, you have a person who claims expertise. As I go from one to the other, the corresponding rubrics here will change. Okay, so when I go to these rubrics, let me give you the first one. In the first of deceitful, I have included the rubric adulterous. Why is adulterous included? Because again, it is a type of deceit. Okay, and as you will see very clearly over here, you have fluoric acid, which is one of the prominent remedy. Fluoric acid, a remedy which is known to knock every door except his wife's. Okay, in plain and simple words, right? So this is what you need to remember. And every one, for example, a person who is deceitful lacks character. You see all this. So when you have a deceitful person, try and first understand, is it deceitful or is it one of these words? Once you are sure that it is one of these words and it is not the other, then you go to a corresponding rubric from there. So the rubric you have, for example, here you are given adulterous, lack of character, charlatan, deceitful, feigning, honor, absence of honor, hypocrisy, kleptomania. Kleptomania is stealing. Stealing is again lying. Okay, I'll give you a very nice example of how you should analyze an incident and a rubric. So I had this mother who comes to me and says that I get a complaint from school that your child is robbing, and she is robbing rubbers from her colleagues in school. So the mother said, if she is robbing it, I should get it at home, right? So she said, and I assure you my child is not robbing. Said, no, your child is robbing. So one day they decided, we will do this. You want something? But we will do something. We will correlate. The day she picks up something from the school, the teacher will call up the mother. So the teacher called up the mother and said, I have seen with my own eyes, she has picked up a rubber which is green in color, which is this shape, which is like this, and she has put it in her bag. Please check. The mother went to the bus stop so that she would be, no, so she doesn't hide anywhere else, direct from the school into the bus and the bus stop. She picked up the child from the bus stop. In her style, she just took the bag, you know how we carry our children's bag, okay, because we don't want them to be loaded, and we are walking home with the child in tow, okay. And she came home, she told her, tu ja, tu हाथ मुंह धो के आ, वो गई, इसने इसका पूरा बैग में से सब कुछ निकाला, रबर नहीं मिला, रबर नहीं मिला, okay. अभी इसने क्यों चुराया, इसने चुराया कि नहीं चुराया? The teacher said she has stolen it. The mother came to me and said, वो लोग बोल रहे हैं कि ये चोरी कर रही है. She is under your medication. Please tell me what to do. So then I said, give me some 10-15 minutes with her alone. I sent away the mother. I talked to her about all the beautiful things and everything else other than the rubber. Okay. And then finally, I came to the rubber. And when I came to the rubber, I said, you're wearing such a pretty dress. What a lovely dress it is. And उसके मुंह में से थोड़ा निकला, it's not like the rubber. 10 साल का बच्चा था. It's not like the rubber. रबर? रबर और ड्रेस किधर आया इसमें? रबर की तो चोरी की थी, है ना? धीरे करके उसके मुंह में से ये निकला कि when anybody else in the class has a prettier rubber than her, she cannot bear it. So she picks it up from there. She doesn't want it, use it or keep it. She throws it out of the bus. Okay? So ये क्या हुआ? सीधा kleptomania से कहाँ गया? Jealousy. Okay? So that's why it's very important for us to always dissect the rubric. Okay? And only if you dissect exactly. That's why whenever you have a person who's disappointment in love, everybody is disappointed in love. Anybody not disappointed, be honest. Okay? So disappointment in love तो सबको आने वाला है. Okay? पर वो disappointment, how you handle the disappointment is more important. You will have one person who will be very sad, who will be all the time crying. You will have another person, मैं देखता हूँ उसको मेरे से अच्छा कोई और लड़का मिलता है क्या? मैं देखता हूँ. वो एक attitude होगी. तीसरा जाके उसके मुंह के ऊपर acid मार के आएगा. तो तीसरी attitude होगी. Okay, remember with each of this, even the miasm is changing from one to the other to the other. Okay, so it is very important for you to understand every single thing. अभी kleptomania का दूसरा example देखिए. एक आया बहुत लिखा पढ़ा आदमी था. He told me, I will give you my second part of the interview, but I don't want anybody else in the room. Normally assistant बैठते हैं, मेरे को कोई नहीं चाहिए. तो बोला ठीक है नहीं चाहिए. बोला बेटा थोड़ा बाहर जाना, नहीं अंदर रुकना. So the assistant goes out. The patient comes and sits across. मैं बोला ये क्या बोलेगा? फिर बोलते बोलेगा. मैं बोला in all this you have actually not told me anything that there should be nobody in the room. So he said actually it's yet to come. Okay? अभी खुद से बोल रहे हैं. You see, I have done a lot of reading about homeopathy and I do understand that everything is very important, but the data can be confidential and I don't trust anybody else, so I have to only tell you and only you. So yes, धीरे रख के बोलता है, बड़ा आदमी है, very rich, उसको क्या चुराने की हैबिट है पता है? 5-star hotels में से forks चुराने की हैबिट है. Okay? And his wife who was sitting simultaneously, she took a back seat. She said, you must come and see his collection. You must come and see his collection. यानी उसने कितनी बार चोरी की है? मैं बोला, didn't you get caught? That's the best part. He doesn't get caught. He doesn't get caught. So people who do chori and get caught are the soric types जो आसानी से पकड़े जा सकते. लेकिन जो syphilitic चोर होते हैं ना, वो शायद even kleptomania भी होंगे ना, तो उनको पकड़ना आसान नहीं रहता है. Okay? एक फ्रॉक तुमने ऐसे स्टाइल में नीचे गिरा दिया, ओके और बाकी का खाना खाते रहे तो वो कैमरा का कौन देखने को जाने वाला है कि किधर गया क्या गया. हाँ अभी वो लोग भी 5 स्टार में भी now they are really hawk eyed and they can catch you, but in those days nobody would really look out for कि एक फॉक गया तो गया. ओके पर इसने कितने सारे ऐसे फॉक्स जमा करके रखे थे. Okay, so remember, kleptomania again falls in the same variety. Then in the same thing, you have secretive. I told you, not wanting to disperse information. Secretive. Under that, again, if you go a little further, you will see unreliable in promise. जो आदमी promise करता है, कभी deliver नहीं करता. सालों पहले ऐसे ही एक IIHP के सेमिनार में हमने एक पॉलिटिशियन को बुलाया था. वो पॉलिटिशियन साहब आए और हम लोग ऐसे ही सब बैठे हुए थे. वो ऊपर गया और बोला शायद आप लोगों को पता नहीं पर मैं जब कुछ भी नहीं था ना मैं काफी आपके लोगों के पास आके गया हूं. और पता है मैं आपको एक बात बोलूं, मैंने को है ना आप लोग सब में एक कमी दिखी. सुनने जैसी बात है. हाँ कमी दिखी. बोला कमी दिखी. And we had senior homeopaths. Okay, relatively I was junior. I was sitting behind. So I said क्या कमी दिखी होगी. मैंने ये देखा कि मैं पहले के पास गया. मैंने बोला साहब ये बीमारी अच्छी होगी. वो बोला तकदीर पे है, दवाई देना मेरा काम है, तकदीर तुम्हारी है. ओके दूसरे के पास गया कोशिश करूंगा. ओके तीसरे के पास गया देखो भाई मैंने दवाई दी अभी आप कैसे लोगे, कितना रेगुलर रहोगे, ये सब चीज पे डिपेंड करेगा कि आप अच्छे होंगे कि नहीं अच्छे होंगे. पता है आप लोग सब में कॉन्फिडेंस ही नहीं है. ओके बोलो कि हाँ होगा, हमारे से सीखो. हुए ना हुए दूसरी बात. अनरिलायबल इन प्रोमिसेस. ओके इलेक्शन के कितने प्रोमिसेस रहते हैं होता है बाद में. तो फिर ओके सो इट इज वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर अस टू कीप दिस इन माइंड. Okay, that these are the rubrics you will use for all these type of instances. I go to the next one. Let us say we go to Shalton and I gave you the example of the doctor who practices without the license entirely. अभी उसके लिए अगर मेरे को रूब्रिक लेना है ना वो भिवंडी वाले डॉक्टर का तो मैं है ना ये रूब्रिक चूज करूंगी. ये which says moral. Let me pull out the whole thing. Okay, moral affections, criminal disposition without a remorse. ओके तुम ये प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हो, तुमको कुछ नहीं आता है, तुमको दवाई दे रहे हो, तुम इंजेक्शन दे रहे हो जिसका तुमको कुछ पता नहीं. एक क्रिमिनल से कम नहीं हुए. Okay, so if I had to choose, I am not going to choose deceitful and sly for that. I would rather choose. I would rather than choose.
चटनी बन चुकी क्योंकि इसमें पड़ेंगे.
क्या चटनी नहीं बनाएंगे? I tell you, it's the most enjoyable seminar I ever had. As much as the webinar was a disaster, I think today. Okay. Then the next one we have is non-committal in relationship. Yani refusing to bind oneself in a relation or a particular course of action. अभी इसका भी मैं example देता हूँ. There is a man who came to us. He came to us with vitiligo. Mind you, he is not handsome at all. He had a love marriage with one lady and he stayed with that lady. After a while, he fell in love with another lady who was already married with 3 children. 3 children. He fell in love with her and she fell in love. And even when they were coming, and even he was coming to take the medicine because I had seen his first wife. And then I saw the second lady and I felt like telling that lady, what are you doing? You know, but obviously you can't say that. So when he came with the second lady, we are in love with each other. After a while, he told me that lady had taken a divorce. Mind you, he's still not taken his divorce. Huh? Okay, that lady took a divorce, 3 children. Okay. After another 6 months, he came with a third lady, who is also my ex-patient. You remember? Okay, who is also my ex-patient. And I was startled and amazed to see him. And I said, what is this? So he said, I don't know why, but change thai jaunch. Okay, right, Shanaz, you'll remember, right? I changed. No, I really liked her, and I don't like her. Now, what can I do if I don't like her? Now I like her. Okay? This is non-committal in relationship. Here, what is it that is very important? What is keeping on doing? Change. So therefore, you will come to the rubric over here, change desire for. अभी तुमको समझ में ये आना चाहिए कि ये पर्टिकुलर वर्ड के लिए हमने क्यों वहां पे ये रूब्रिक लिया हुआ है. तभी ये पेशेंट नहीं आया था. हाँ, okay, to go into each repertory and choose which are the applicable rubrics for each of these words. Okay, now, so this is the way I would like you to go through. So each of these words which are there here, no, you have, when you have a case, for example, ये non-committal in relationship वाला आदमी आया ना, तो उसको पूछो क्यों. सीधा उसको adulterous मत ले लो. क्यों? Okay, और वो क्यों आपको आंसर देगा, and that's the way you will reach your rubric. Otherwise, you will use only one rubric. तो जो भी आदमी का अफेयर होता है उसको हमेशा आप adulterous यूज करेंगे. लेकिन it is not true, because behind it there could be an entirely different picture altogether. Okay, so this, then you have avoids hard work and tries to find an easy way out. This is the phlegmatic type of a personality. Okay, so here you will have rubrics which are also phlegmatic. For example, you will have indolence and aversion to work. जो कम काम करके ज्यादा बेनिफिट लेने की कोशिश करता है, वो भी एक तरह का लायर होएगा, क्योंकि he will resort to corruption and he will resort to corrupt means. Then, so, और लोग आजकल कोई शेयर मार्केट, कोई गैम्बलिंग, कोई ताश, कोई घोड़े, बराबर है. Again, it's an easy way of making money. So therefore, I have put it under parallel words. Does not mean it is deceitful, but sometimes what starts there could end entirely elsewhere. Fraudulent. Results more important than the means to achieve it. अगर आप सिर्फ ये उसका जो क्लिप आर्ट है वो देखेंगे ना, तो what does it say there? How to marry a millionaire का मैन्युअल है. Okay, तो कैसे किसको फंसाया जाए. हाँ, ये किसी को फंसाना is again manipulation. And again over here you will have a different, entirely different. So here you have avarice, you have deceit with duplicity, you have avarice, ambition, every means employed, fraudulent, corrupt, greed, cupidity. These will be the different rubrics that you will have. I remember from Zoom, somebody had mentioned the word selfishness and egotism, which as you will see here. So this will be a person who is selfish, egoistic. He is occupied at first with himself besides others. Okay. Then we have another person, shrewd and astute. Shrewd and astute. Shrewd and astute is, they are very sharp. Remember, and you can use your sharpness constructively and you can use your sharpness destructively. Today we are talking about the destructive side. Abhi, if you see shrewd and astute, as the rubrics are changing over here, you will see there is a rubric bargaining. There is a rubric bargaining. I'll give you an example. Ye ladka jaake, there is some dragon sandwich or something like that, which is available in the canteen in one of the schools. He loved to have this. Every time the child had it, he would fall ill. So the parents said, you don't have to eat this. But if they gave him any money, pocket money, he will go and have the dragon sandwich, whatever it was. Okay. So finally, the parents said, we will give you the dabba from home. You will not eat anything from outside. We have to keep going doctors all the time. Not possible. Okay. So take the dabba and please go. Okay. Sure enough, this fellow took the dabba. Dabba also comes back empty. बराबर है. तो डब्बा खाया, पैसे भी नहीं गए. पर ये बच्चा पूरा टाइम बिजी. बेटा क्या कर रहा है? प्रोजेक्ट बना रहा हूँ. अरे पर तेरा प्रोजेक्ट तो तूने सबमिट कर दिया. मेरा वो वाला फ्रेंड है ना, उसकी मम्मी बीमार है, तो उसने बोला मेरे को थोड़ी हेल्प कर दे. हाँ, इधर ये हेल्प करेगा, उधर से उसका वो पॉकेट मनी उठाएगा. पॉकेट मनी से वो ड्रैगन खाएगा, उसका डब्बा वो खाएगा. ये अरेंजमेंट, दिस इज नथिंग एल्स बट बार्गेनिंग. मैं तेरे को ये देता हूँ, तो मेरे को ये दे दे, अपने दोनों का Okay, so remember that these rubrics which you are otherwise not thinking about at all, if a patient comes to you who is deceitful and sly, you need to think about all these rubrics. It's an endless list because it's a software.
Ma'am, your mic is muted. Please check.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, can you hear me?
Yes, they will not be able to now.
Okay, fine. All right, thank you.
But they can hear you.
Okay, thank you. All right, then we have crafty. Okay, crafty. बहुत अच्छा एग्जाम्पल अगेन आई गिव यू. एक बच्चा अंदर आया, उसको काफी तकलीफ थी in terms of asthma, and I had given a lot of remedies to the boy, and the boy had not improved. So I asked the mother, can you tell me something else about the boy? Can you tell me? So she's looking, she's saying, means ये लड़का है, इसके सामने कैसा बोलूं? Okay. So then she said, बेटा जरा बाहर जाइए. Okay, in Gujarati she told, बेटा जरा बाहर जाइए. So that was, na. बेटा जरा बाहर जा ना. You know, today the best way, what is the best weapon you have to send a child out? तो ऐसे ले मोबाइल ले, मोबाइल जा बाहर जा. So he took the mobile and he said, ना मैंने नती जाऊँ बाहर, and he kept fiddling with it. I have a table, so what person does here I can't see from here. Okay, they kept fiddling. I said, जाने. Then there was one plastic. I remember there was a white color plastic का थैली which the mother had brought. उसने उसमें कट करके वो मोबाइल वापस डाल दिया. Okay, नती जोतो जाओ छुपा. And so saying, the boy went out. Anyway, I thought mission achieved. Boy went out. Okay, now let's get started. So I asked the mother, તમારે શું કહેવાનું હતું? The mother is looking at me. She said, then she removed the phone from inside. She said, जो recording mode पर મૂકીને ગયો છે. समझा? ये क्या हुआ? ये फ्रॉड हुआ. ये क्राफ्टी नेचर है, ये स्लाई नेचर है, ये डिसीटफुल नेचर है. Okay, so remember that each of these, now for this particular boy, you will need to definitely use the rubric deceitful and sly. Okay, क्योंकि ये क्या है? ये sly nature हुआ. Okay, are you clear with it? Okay. So this way it can be on and on, but to tell you the other ones, I'll tell you about shrewd and astute. I was telling you, shrewd अच्छा भी हो सकता है. Spying. Now spying is something which is spying on whom? I'll give you an example. एक घर में ये डुप्लेक्स था. डुप्लेक्स के अंदर जनरली व्हाट हैपेंस इज एक्सटेंशंस होते हैं, फोन के एक्सटेंशंस होते हैं. हस्बैंड एंड वाइफ को जमता नहीं था. When the husband would go to the office, the wife will call up her sister and say, आज तो इसने ऐसा किया, फलाना किया, little knowing, okay, that the boy upstairs has lifted it and is listening to everything that is being said. And when the father pops home, okay, he will say, आज मौसी का फोन गया था. Okay, and everything. This is an indirect way of spying itself. Okay, this is also being cheating, deceitful, and sly. And along with that, one more rubric that I would add for that example which I gave you is inquisitive. तुमको क्या काम है कि बाप ने माँ में क्या, पर उसको पता करना चाहिए कि मासी के साथ क्या बात किया. So this is also in addition being inquisitive. Okay. So then I was talking about shrewd and astute. Few days ago we had this boy who came. For 6 years, I think he was really intelligent. So whatever I was asking him, time sorna, falana sorna, vola sorna, he could tell me all the different this thing. And the more he realized, the more smarter he is, the more he was telling me about himself and so on and so forth. Okay. I asked him, I knew that he was boasting, and I knew that there's a limit till which you can boast as a child. Right? So I told him, your name is very nice. What is the meaning of that word? What is the meaning of that particular name? So he looked at me and said, actually I have come here for my nose, you see. हाँ? पूरा दिशा ही बदल दिया उसने. उसके नसीब से मेरा फोन बजा. Okay? मेरा इंटरकॉम बजा तो मैंने वो बेटा बोला हाँ. In just few seconds, because I did not want a disturbance, I answered and I put the phone down. And then he said, you were asking me a question. Okay. Fortunately, the mother said, don't try and act smart. You asked me the answer and now you want to show off. Okay. For a 6-year-old child to deviate my question, to be quick on uptake. Okay. So this over here, for that boy, no, I will take the rubric. What will I take? You know, what will I take? What rubric should I take? Huh? I will take the rubric quick to act. I will take the rubric quick to act. Okay? इसमें मैं sly deceitful नहीं लूंगी. Okay? पर ये आपको अकर ही नहीं करेगा अगर आप laterally think ही नहीं करोगे तो. So you need to think on all lines to be able to get the right rubric. Then we go to crafty, we go to flirtatious, I go to manipulative. In manipulative, as you see, again, I have a whole line over there. So people who are manipulative, ना जो मैंने आपको example दिया, सर आपके लिए ही flat बनाया, बराबर है? हाँ? ये आपके लिए, देखिए ये ज्वेलरी आपको कितनी जच रही है मैडम, देखिए आप, बराबर है? आप पूछ लीजिए, किसी को भी पूछ लीजिए, सब क्या बोलते हैं, बेचारे हस्बैंड की हिम्मत है, नहीं अच्छी लगती है बोलने को, even if he is dishonest. Okay, so remember for you that it is very, very important to be able to reach the right rubric. I have given you enough examples. I was talking to you about whited sepulture. Remember last I told you, you will not get otherwise this. So under whited sepulture, we have taken malicious and wicked. Wo Baba wala. Remember? Okay. Malicious and wicked, lack of character, contradictory. Actions are contradictory to intentions. And intentions are contradictory to speech. बात धर्म की करेगा, पीछे कुछ और होते रहेगा. Okay, so here your rubric will change and you will use these rubric. You will just not use deceitful. You will also understand that he is deceitful, but he is also a hypocrite. He is a liar. He is a liar and charlatan. क्योंकि कई बार लोग religiousness से seek करते हैं relief in life. Okay, and if he is a conman on the religious, ये पूजा करो, वो पूजा करो, इतना दान दे दो, उतना दान दे दो, that is also a type of conman. Okay, so this is the way in which, because this is endless, so I'll have to just terminate this here. We'll again go back to the slides, and now what we do, friends, is okay. I'm going to a case. Okay. You can come in. I need my slides, not this. So,
I'll sit here because otherwise in the camera I will be seen.
Okay. I need to go to my slides.
Okay, from here it is going to the slide.
It's on the slides. Okay. Male patient. Remedy will come from you. Yes? Chai piya, coffee piya? Male patient, aged 48 years, married, having 2 children. Chief complaint: indigestion with bloating of abdomen, aggravated eating out. Stools unsatisfactory. Don't think I clear my bowels well. Recurrent headaches accompanied with nausea, which is aggravated from eating out, and it is better by allopathic medication. Need to work, so I just pop a tablet and get going. Dressed well in a suit. बॉम्बे में सूट पहन के बहुत कम लोग आते हैं, हाँ? So dressed well in a suit with a Rolex watch, with which he kept fiddling all the time to check the time. His speech was clear, authoritative, with no mincing of words. Appetite normal. What does he love? He is very fond of alcohol. He says, it is required at my level. Fresh lime soda, pani puri, very fond of pani puri, and he loves to drink up the water if no one is watching. Aversion to some vegetables, bitter gourd and bottle gourd. So, अपना दूधी और करेला. आगे.
I'll just stop share and then do.
Okay, there's a problem with the share.
Yes. Yeah.
Tell me when you're ready.
Yeah. Shall I take?
Yes?
Yes.
Ready? Okay. Alright. So he desires alcohol and he says that it is required at my level. Fresh lime soda. Pani puri loves to drink up the water. Aversion to some vegetables. Bitter gourd and bottle gourd. Okay. Dressed well in a suit with a Rolex.
And that's the same thing, yeah.
We go from that switch.
Yes.
Thirst, 2 liters. Stools, satisfactory. Urine normal, sleep normal. Past history, malaria. Skin lesions in groins, suppressed. Next. Thirst. Okay, past history.
Previous one?
Malaria. Yeah, past history of malaria and skin disease. Family history of diabetes and heart disease. Mother heart disease, skin lesions and eczema. Thirst 2 liters a day. Stools unsatisfactory. Urine normal. Sleep normal. Occasionally snores. Prefers Mumbai's winter. Bath lukewarm. Prefers covering at night as he uses the AC. Mentals. He is born in a higher middle class family. Has 2 sisters, both married and well settled. Did his schooling and graduation in Mumbai and then went out of town for management studies at a top IIM college. Very sharp and intelligent from his school days. Has done very well for himself as he is now the CEO of a company. Scaled the ladder fast. As he says, he knew the tricks of the trade. Okay? Yes, and ये आपको touch करना नहीं बेटा. Go up. Wait, hold on. Tricks of the trade. Don't change till I tell you. Okay, what is the tricks of trade? Goes on to give an example. Okay? अभी मेरे को क्या example लेता है? He tells me I had a very good friend in my college days in IIM. During the placement interview, both of us got admission, got a placement in the same company. He was in a different department and I was entirely in a different department. As we grew, as you know, there is only one CEO, right? So as he knew, when he came to this point before going here, he told his friend, देख यार, ये जो ऊपर वाला है ना, वो जल्दी से तो जाएगा नहीं, जवान आदमी है, अभी अपने को ही अपना कुछ बंदोबस्त करना पड़ेगा. So that man said, what do we do? Don't you think we should start trying for higher post in other companies? So that man said, yes, we can try that. But so he says, okay, if I find out something good, we'll apply. जिसका भी लग होगा मिल जाएगा. Okay. So he said, ठीक है. So both of them. Then so the other friend also applied for the job. He got through the interview. His friend left, and he gave him a big, party to celebrate all that. And finally, he went to the other company as the CEO. Within a matter of few months, यहाँ का जो CEO था, वो CEO जाने ही वाला था जो इसको information थी, जो इसको information थी, जो information उसने share नहीं की, okay? And he became the CEO of a much bigger group as compared to his other friend who went at a CEO in a smaller organization. But he was a CEO at a smaller organization. Somehow that friend was equally sharp and realized कि इसने मेरे साथ कुछ खेल खेला लगता है. So उसने क्या किया? At the position that he was, he called for all the applications that had come for the CEO post at that time. तभी उसके हाथ में था ना सब. उसने सब मंगाया. And to his surprises of surprises, he found that his friend had never applied. he was extremely hurt and really depressed, and he decided कि ऐसा हो नहीं सकता है. तो उसने उसके फ्रेंड को यानी ये पेशेंट को फोन करके बोला, यार तूने तो अप्लाई ही नहीं किया था. दैट फेलो ऐसे देखिए, पहले के जमाने में महाभारत हुआ करता था जो रंगभूमि पे खेला जाता था. आज वही महाभारत हम कॉर्पोरेट्स में खेलते हैं. Everything is fair in love and war. And in this way, friendship broke, and it did not even matter to him. Okay? It did not matter to him. It is very important for you to know कि कोई चीज तुमको जिसको इतने साल से तुम पहचानते हो, तुम उसके साथ ऐसा करते हो, तो तुमको हर्ट होएगा. नहीं होता है तो वो भी एक सिम्टम है. Okay? So therefore, remember this incident, which is very, very important. Okay, because this is your entry point of understanding the patient as a whole. Okay, next. He does not get along, does not gel along well with his wife. We had chalk and cheese, arranged marriage. Parents thought it was the best match for him. I'm short-tempered at home as our views don't match, but I know how to get her around to what I should be, what I want. Children keep us bonded together. I want my children to be established in life as I am today. At work, he is strict and people shudder to enter my room. I need perfection at home and office. It's my way, no, it's my way or highway. Okay? Chalo. Now come on. If there is anybody who's suggesting on Zoom on the chat, you will give me their suggestions also. Would you like to quickly tell me anything? You want to tell me a rubric? You want to tell me a remedy?
लाइकोपोडियम मैम.
लाइकोपोडियम. तुम्हारे को उधर लाइकोपोडियम आ रहा है? You know,
Lachesis, yes.
Lachesis. Okay. Any other?
Lachesis.
Tarantula. Or anything else? Okay, fine. Now, as we go to the next slide, let us analyze him properly. Okay? Analyze the friend's incident. उसने ऐसा क्यों किया? Remember what I said earlier? क्यों किया? So that he could retain top position in the company. Agreed? Yes. How did he do it? He tricked his friend convincingly. Agreed? Yes. What does his auction qualify as? He is an ambitious man who went to any extent to get what he wanted. Now I have to convert all these into respective rubrics. Okay, chalo, next slide. Now I go to the next slide. How would I summarize this man? So this man is shrewd, he is manipulative, he can forge ahead being unemotional, and everything in his life is, let's do it my way. Okay, next slide. If I would classify, he is very, very highly choleric. Whichever drug you will choose has to have cholericity in it. Alright? Next. Now I give you the repertorial. What are the ones that I said? What did he do? Deceit, duplicity, lying, and tricky. What is it that he feared? Feared to lose his lucrative position. And very important, ambition means employed every possible way. He has used any means to be able to achieve what he wanted to achieve in terms of ambition. Samjha? Okay. Now if you see this list, pulsatilla here. क्या ये pulsatilla है? नहीं है. लगाओ अभी. Next slide. अभी कैसे निकलेगा? जैसे ही मैं choleric apply करूंगी, pulsatilla वहां से उड़ ही जाएगा, क्योंकि वो है ही नहीं. Okay? Apply. Okay. Now I come to the list, and now we have with us sulfur veratrum lyco, arsenic naxomica phosphorus, etc. Remedy बदला आपका? Remedy बदला? Remedy is veratrum alb and not naxomica. Okay, veratrum alb and not naxomica. Sometimes two remedies could look so much like each other. Okay, but you need to know more about it. Let us learn more about Viratram now. Go forward and next slide again immediately. Let me tell you more about Viratram. Viratram, temperament-wise, is choleric 3 marks, sanguine 1 mark, and phlegmatic 1 mark. You remember I had told you, any remedy which will have a choleric sanguine combination will be a very deadly remedy. बराबर है? आपने एग्जाम्पल भी देखा, ये भी देखा. अभी what is it? Ambition. Employs every mean possible to reach his goal. He spares nobody or lies and cheats and misleads others to reach his goal. Lies, boasts, and social position is very, very important to him. Example. Okay, there's this lady coming to me. I will call her by some name so it's easier. So her name, Mrs. Banerjee. Okay, so Mrs. Banerjee comes to me, and Mrs. Banerjee, every time she is trying to say that she's very unfortunate. And she said, see, my husband has done, actually he's from IIM. At IIM, what level you should be, where you should be in life, where is he in life? Okay, and I said, just because he holds that tag does not mean, no, so every time she's unfortunate. Every time I would try to tell her, don't you realize that there are people who are lower down? Don't you realize that what you have in life, other people don't have? Nothing would make sense to this lady at all. What she would do is, to have a social position, this is one particular magazine, again I don't name it, where only the editorial board and the staff is consisted by very high-ranking people's wives. Okay? They only run this particular magazine. So they don't come all the time to the office. Okay? They come only for a few hours. All of them come only for a few hours because they are important people. So only for a few hours to the office. Okay? And each one comes in their husband's respective car. Okay? So sometimes the Merc drops, sometimes the BMW. I'm talking of this when the Merc and BMW were rather less. Huh? We wouldn't have showrooms like we have right now. So therefore, this lady had no car. If somebody sees her, there is a problem. So either she has to come by bus or some way so she would, some way or the other, she would reach pretty early so that nobody saw her, or she would leave late so that nobody saw her. One day, unfortunately, her husband, she was seated behind her, वो husband के स्कूटर था उसका, स्कूटर के पीछे वो बैठी. वो जब भी ऐसे बैठी थी और सिग्नल पे वेट किया तो बाजू में आके वर्क आके खड़ी हुई. उसने देखा और बोला, oh my God, okay, this is now she has seen me on the scooter. Okay, now what am I going to reply over there? Because आपका social position had flat. वो नीचे उतरी है. Hi, I saw you on the scooty. You know what this lady said? Last minute, my car broke down. I just asked my driver, just get your scooter and get me to the place that I need to be. हाँ, husband को driver बनाया. झूठ. किस लिए झूठ? ये position. सिर्फ झूठ मत देखना, क्यों बनाया वो हमेशा पूछो. Okay? उसको एक पगार हम लोग लेते थे. पगार इतना बड़ा नहीं था, पर पगार मिलता था. हर एक के हस्बैंड को रेज मिलता था तो लेडीज एक दूसरे को पार्टी देती थी. She was also in the same ballgame. This woman had collected her pay so that one day she just went there and said, my husband, he has got this particular promotion and I would need to give you a party. And she blew up the money इतना कि घर आने के तक उसके पास पैसे नहीं गए थे. और फिर उसने उधर बोला कि just drop me off here. I need to go and see a friend in Pedder Road. फलाना लिखना. And she called up her husband. मेरे को लेने को आ जा. पैसे नहीं. Okay? ये क्या है सब? ये एक तरह का दिखावा है. Okay? This is Viratram's religion. Okay? This is the unemotional part of Viratram. But this is the unemotional, but it is not necessarily a syphilitic part. Okay? But this is an unemotional part of Viratram. This lady's example, not Viratram as a whole, this lady's example. Okay? She is trying to just exaggerate. This is an exaggerated liar example. Okay? Now, Feign sickness, whether it is deafness, blindness, or cancer. Okay, anything, whatever it is, they will feign. A lady can feign pregnancy. Pretending comes to him very, very easily. Next slide. Egoistic. Viratrams are those who will plot things. They are untruthful. They will gossip. And Viratrams sounds so confident, like the CEO did, the example he did. That's why you started saying Naaks Homega. जैसे हम लोग rubrics के ऊपर fix है ना, उतने से ज़्यादा remedies के list. Okay, if we see, if I see, I find कि एक remedy 50 बार क्यों prescribe हो रहा है? Okay, क्या change नहीं होता? उसका मतलब मेरे को आता नहीं है, मेरे को सीखना चाहिए. Okay, we need to put in more efforts to be able to understand more remedies. Sounds so confident that you could be in awe of him. Fear of losing his position in society and hence he is critical of others. दूसरों को criticize करके भी अगर he is better off in the society, he doesn't mind doing that. Insulting and rude behavior. Viratram is one of the most insulting teenagers.
Para? Venda.
Okay. Contemptuous, hard for subordinates, and agreeable or pleasant to superiors or people he has to fear. We have other remedies in the same rubric like lycopodium, like lattices, like platina. Important to understand, when a Viratram gets frustrated, what happens? When frustrations of aspirations due to injured pride or honor can lead to depression. Or he could get a forsaken feeling for a while and then he suddenly becomes a religious Baba. Okay, अभी click कर next. और फिर क्या हो जाता है, ये delusion आ जाता है कि मैं तो है ना, मैंने तो भगवान को देखा है, भगवान से मेरी बात हुई, हाँ, उसने मेरे को बोला है कि आप लोगों को मैं ये बताऊं कि होम्योपैथी से अच्छा कोई सिस्टम ही नहीं, बराबर है, हाँ, ये मैं बताऊं कि मैं जीसस क्राइस्ट हूं, and therefore he says because I am Jesus Christ, therefore what he says is the truth and everybody needs to follow it. This tells you the evolution of the jute of a miracle, from what stage it starts and what stage it goes to, and at what different shades you could see miracle. You saw the social position one, you will see the Baba in the other. Okay, next remedy. Mary talked about opium. Okay, opium is one of those remedies, mind you. Opium is choleric 2, sanguine 2. Deadly आ गया. याद रखना, choleric 2, sanguine 2 means deadly. Okay, that's why most of these liars, okay, they are all meaning to the nth extent. So let us see how books describe them. Audacious ferocity, cruelty, ferocity like a wild beast. Mind you, these are from the Materia Medicas. Criminal, Allen writes, into bracket in India. Okay, it's written in Allen, in India. Lose their fear of death. जब भी इंडिया आता है तो हम खड़े रह जाते हैं, क्या है? आके लिखा criminals. Okay, criminals in India lose their fear of death and go courageously to their execution. In the olden times, people would pot in loads and loads of opium before they went for war. Why? Because then you cannot recognize कि सामने तुम्हारा कोई ये भी खड़ा हो, friend खड़ा हो, तुम्हारा relative खड़ा हो, तो उसको भी मारने में तुमको हिचकिचाहट नहीं होगी. Okay, so when you want to do that, you would have to have a certain mental balance. That's the reason why opium is considered a war remedy. Okay, opium eaters, जो भी अपने deceitful में जो भी remedies है, opium है, morphinum है, alcohol है, alcohol though I've never used it, but it's there as a remedy. Okay, all these remedies, no, anybody who consumes any of this, you can never trust them. आपको भी पता होगा दारू पीने वाले का कभी भी आप ट्रस्ट कर सकते हो, नहीं ट्रस्ट कर सकते हो. Similarly with opium, you can never trust an opium patient because there is shamelessness. and want of delicate sentiments. Crave confidence. ये pumped up confidence है, ये real confidence नहीं है, opium का pumped up confidence है. Mind is full of gigantic ideas and theories, the realization of which seems to him quite natural and easy. He can lie, and his power of expression is wonderfully terse and convincing. Blunted morals, as Nash describes, worst liars in the world are opium. Okay? And they are known to chronically lie. Okay? जो भी ये चीज ये नशा करते हैं ना, वो हमेशा chronically lie करेंगे, क्योंकि पैसा भी चाहिए उनको चीज खरीदने के लिए, और झूठ पे झूठ बोल के वो आपके पास से पैसा खींचते रहेंगे. Next, dissociation and fright, lose contact with the surroundings. It's very important to remember the action of opium is fright, but the reaction is indifference. Okay? Reaction is indifference. If you have an opium patient which you have constitutionally given as opium, therein you have seen marked indifference. And even if this patient comes back to you telling, "अभी मेरे को पहले से है ना ऐसा agitated लग रहा है." Normally speaking, अगर आदमी को agitated लगा तो आप बोलेंगे इसको agitated लग रहा है, अपना रेमेडी का क्या? पर उतना याद रखना, ओपियम में कुछ भी हुआ ना तो प्लस है. ओके, कुछ भी हुआ तो प्लस है, क्योंकि उसमें रिएक्शन ही नहीं है, वो benumbed remedy. Okay, are you with me? It's a benumbed remedy. That's why I'm saying reaction is indifferent. So if you can change it to some action, we are happy about it. Okay, and opium has got substance abuse liars. So opium liars are what type? Substance abuse liars. Exactly now, in comparison to that, we go to a much lesser known and lesser prescribed remedy, morphinum. Morphinum कौन है? बहुत ही manipulative आदमी है. Okay, very manipulative, very untruthful, very self-willed and deceitful individuals. Pathological liars. You remember I told you in the first place. Will even fake illness to get attention in order to manipulate. They will lie, deceive, and they will look at you straight in the eye. Never speaks the truth. Does not know what he is saying. Next. Lack of morality and the intention is always to manipulate and rip off people. Chronic gamblers. And they borrow money constantly. They are very subtle. They are very sleek, operating in a very impressively smooth and efficient way. White collar criminals. आया? आपने विरेट्रम देखा, okay, उसके बाद opium देखा. I want you to gather the difference between each of these. Okay, and now when you go to this, you will see this is a person with white collar crime. Other symptoms: suddenness, restlessness, hyperesthesia, extreme susceptibility to pain. Remember, in opium there is painlessness, and in morphine there is lot of pain. Okay, for you to be able to distinguish at times. Next, there is great similarity in the intoxication of morphine and that of alcohol. But the delirium of alcohol is more joyous, that of morphine almost gloomy and melancholy. When she tried to describe her symptoms and asked for an explanation from her friends, she could not, for her tears and sobs, which she could not repress. So it becomes a very tearful remedy. It will become melancholy, complete melancholy, so that he desires to finally commit suicide. Mind you, morphine is a remedy which people use in the last stage to give relief. Okay, so that is the extent of pain that a morphinum undergoes. So therefore, complete melancholy, so that he is desired to commit suicide. Some patients sit in mute despair, casting about the same opportunity to free themselves from this suffering, says Ellen. Okay, next. Medorinum. Okay, Medorinum, I gave you the example, lying by omission. Okay, Medorinum is wonderful at hiding things. Thuja and Medorinum, both. Okay, anything, push it under the carpet, hide it, nobody will know about it, till it becomes a mountain, and then finally bursts. Okay, alcoholism and drug abuse. Everything in Medorinum is fast. Okay, anything will come faster than it is expected to. Whether it is puberty, whether it is habits, whether it is a relationship or anything. I'll give you an example. We had a little fellow who had come, and the mother said, I'm seeing you after the lockdown, but I have to tell you a lot of things have been happening. I have not seen you for a long time. What is happening? ये पूरा दिन बैठ के खाता है, खाता है, खाता है, खाता है, खा के बड़ा हो गया, इतनी स्वीट्स खाता है, इतनी स्वीट्स खाता है, वो सब चीज तो नॉर्मल चीज है, पर ये क्या करने लगा है? ये चोरी करने लगा है। कैसे चोरी करने लगा? ऐसा देखेगा कोई इधर उधर नहीं है, इसके पर्स में से उठाया पैसा, इसमें से उठाया, और इतनी आसानी से वो पैसे उठाता है, पैसे उठा के जाके नीचे ही goes and has his chocolates, his fill, and he comes back. You will not even realize it, and he makes such an innocent face. You will never know that he's actually robbed the money. And it is only when that he was actually caught red-handed did they realize that he is actually picking it up. When the money here stopped and everything stopped, the mother, अभी recently some mall खुले, तो उसको mall में लेके गए, माँ कर रही उधर शॉपिंग, ये पीछे एक से चॉकलेट उठा के इधर डाला उधर डाला. By that time he is smart enough to find out कि ये तो वो लोग पकड़ेंगे ना, अभी तो बच्चे भी होशियार है, ऐसे हम बोल के रखते हैं. मम्मी मेरे को टॉयलेट में जाना, तो टॉयलेट में गया, टॉयलेट में जाके एक के पीछे finished up all of them, threw the wrapper in that there is a bin for the sanitary napkin or whatever it was, went into the please washroom, he took the one, threw it inside and came. Camera spot. Just as the lady was about to move out, she was called by the security that because it's a child, we are not doing anything, but you will have to pay up for these wrappers. Unless we have video evidence. She said, "पता है, मैंने तो उन लोग से साथ डिबेट भी नहीं किया कि ये मेरा लड़का नहीं कर सकता, चुपचाप पैसे दे गए. This is him. Okay, this is him. Again, a middle and okay, you can have a calcarea also who is like this. Okay, but calcarea इतना extent पे इतना sleep नहीं रहता. किधर ना किधर calcarea goof करता है. Okay, so this is a remedy, which is very cruel. I want you to know that cruelty in Medorinum is very often focused towards animals. Okay, it is a very experimentative remedy. इसीलिए sexual excesses, wild, strong, high sex drive, sexual perversions, they will lie by omitting data. And very often what you have is they start well and then they just don't know how to finish. Next. Natramule. सोच सकते हो कि Natramule कभी झूठ बोलेगा? सोच सकते हो? नहीं सोच सकते. Natramule है ना, कोर्ट में झूठ बोलेगा. कोर्ट में. Okay? Perjury. Okay? और कई बार ये क्यों करता है? ये रिलेशनशिप के वादे में एक चीज होती है. Okay? Because Natramule is a very emotional remedy. And very often Natramule lies under oath. It is important for you to remember that Natramule is very revengeful. और वो revenge की वजह से भी वो झूठ बोल सकता है. आपसे revenge लेने की वजह से भी वो झूठ बोल सकेगा. Excess of greed leading to kleptomania, even in the affluent. Okay, remember I gave you the example of that fellow picking up the box. He is an angel in the society. He is a devil at home. Nice to know, difficult to live with. Okay, remember, अभी आपको लगेगा अरे मेरे घर में है ऐसा. हो भी सकता है. Natramule is a very common remedy. Unscrupulous, promiscuous, incestuous, lecherous. You would never expect these words under Natramule. Okay? Under religious grab, and the other remedy we can compare is death. Okay? It is important again for you to know. Again, you will see. I told you it has to have some polaricity. So choleric sanguine में से एक तो होना ही चाहिए. ये melancholic part उसको ये सब चीज में धकेलता है. Action choleric करता है. Okay? Next. Hyoscyamus. Hyoscyamus कौन है पता है? Your secret admirer. Okay. Hyoscyamus is your secret admirer. Jealousy brings deceit, can deceive by dressing with actions and body language without lying. हायोसाइमस को शब्द निकालने भी नहीं पड़ते हैं और आपको डिसीव करके जाएगा वो. Okay? Because he will dress in such a way, he will impress you. जो भी करेगा और काम बंद करा. Hyoscyamus forms plots or pursues an object by secret means. The secret admirer follows you all over on digital media. Okay? Gossiping.
What does that mean?
Sorry?
Follows you all on digital media.
यानी ट्रोल करेगा तुमको हर तरह से और क्या करेगा तुम्हारे को हम ये देगा इमोजी भेजेगा. I tell you honestly, years ago I used to get messages. I got this message saying lovely sari, looking pretty, and I was young. Huh?
Still are.
Sorry, still happens. Let's be honest. Okay, so when I used to get these messages, I used to wonder कि ये है क्या. बहुत दिन के बाद मैंने decided to tell my brother, so I told my brother कि मेरे को ऐसे messages आ रहे हैं. तो मेरे भाई ने बोला तेरे को किसी पे डाउट है? मेरा डाउट तो मेरे को नहीं पता कि मैं जब भी कॉलेज जाती हूँ तभी आता है. Okay, when I used to go to the college only I am getting. So she is telling me, he is telling me, अच्छा ये कोई कॉलेज वाला ही होना चाहिए. Okay, then I used to think कि मेरे रास्ते में किस किस को मिली, हर बार कौन मेरे को मिलता है. Okay, मैंने बहुत कुछ ये किया पर मेरे को ये मिला. एक दिन मेरे को एक जन पे डाउट आया. ओके, और वो टाइम पे ट्रू कॉलर ब्लू कॉलर नहीं था, इतना सब इजी नहीं था. कौन कहाँ से फोन आया वो सब नहीं हो सकता था ट्रेस. ओके, सो माय ब्रदर सेड लेट्स वेट फॉर अ व्हाइल एंड सी इट. सो ये 2-3 महीने ये काम चला. शायद डॉक्टर आशा को पता नहीं. आई वाज क्वाइट हेरेस्ड कि ये है कौन. फाइनली एक दिन मेरे पास एक पेशेंट अंदर आई उसकी माँ के साथ. मेरे को ऐसा लग रहा था कि ये मैसेज मेरे को कोई लड़की भेज रही है, ये मेरे को कोई लड़का नहीं भेज रहा है, ये मेल नहीं है फीमेल. ओके, और ये फोन भी नहीं उठाती जब भी मैं फोन करती हूँ. कभी बहुत फोन से अलग अलग फोन करके देखे थे पर भी नहीं उठाया. एक दिन बिकॉज दैट गर्ल केम इन एंड हर मदर केम, आई टुक दैट अपॉर्चुनिटी एंड रैंग द सेम नंबर. और बराबर वो नंबर मेरे सामने बजा. अपन क्या है ट्रेनिंग हो गई. ओके, एंड द मोमेंट दैट phone rang, she took the phone and put it down. I asked her mother to wait out a minute. And I told her, I said, why did you do this? She said, ma'am, I only admire you, nothing else. I just admire you. I said, there are other ways of admiring the world. Isn't it? So ये तेरा डिजिटल मीडिया, ये तेरा परस्यूइंग, ये तेरा सीक्रेट मैसेजेस की बात. इतना डिसी क्यों रखना? सामने आके बोल ना, उसमें क्या है. मेरी स्टूडेंट है, बोल मैडम आप अच्छे लग रहे हो, ये करके निकल जाएंगे. और क्या. Okay, there is no seriousness in it, so why even bother about it? Okay, so follows you all over. So digital media पे किधर हो आजकल तो तुम लोग को मेरे से Snapchat, Instagram फलाना दिखना तुमको ज़्यादा बना होना चाहिए. Okay, and gossiping. Next, Nux vomica. आया आपका favorite. Nux vomica is chiefly, now see Hahnemann writes, Nux vomica is chiefly successful with persons of an ardent character, of an irritable, impatient temperament disposed to anger, spite and deception. But you do not find this in Hahnemann's Materia Medica. Allen is quoting saying Hahnemann has said this. So I am quoting it here. Okay? कई बार जो ऑथर का आता है वो कहाँ से तो इनडायरेक्ट आता है, तो सीधा Hahnemann का Materia Medica पूरा में नहीं मिल रहा है, लेकिन वहां से मिल रहा है. Like Veratrum, for him also fame, ambition and targets are very, very important. Nux vomica is a go-getter. He is competitive and he wants to lead. He is very critical and he is also very, very sensual. Next slide. Interestingly, arsenic Al. Arsenic Al. Why should arsenic Al lie? What makes an arsenic alive is his anxiety. Okay? Anxiety की वजह से वो काम नहीं कर पाता, इसलिए unsuccessful means say he tries to achieve it. So he is a very anxious man. He is so anxious to make money that he has no time to be a fashionable man. He is not a daring man. Therefore, he does not take risks in his business operations, but rather seeks wealth through miserly habits and low underhanded and cunning means. Next slide. He is totally wanting in moral courage and constantly fears death. He cherishes none of the finer feelings of human nature. He is himself repulsive in his disease, which are repulsive, and his diseases are of a repulsive kind, such as ulcers, cancers, etc. This is from Hahnemann's Advocate, my compilation. Next. You cannot not have tarantula in this, right? Cunning like a fox. Daily. एक छोटा सा लड़का हमेशा मेरे पास दवाई देने के आता था. Father is a celebrity. Now the boy is also a celebrity. Father का 50th birthday था. So his wife called up, you have to come. My husband's birthday. So okay, I come. So I go there, and this boy comes to greet me. Okay, he comes to greet me. He gives me a hug. Shall I tell you the truth? So I said, yes, tell me the truth. You know, whenever I came to you, I was never really sick. So I said, oh yeah? I said, yeah. You know what I used to do? Every time I came to you, you said, show me your town. Okay? And she said, so मैं चौक लगा के ready होता. Okay? Remedy मैंने उसको शुरुआत से tarantula दिया. उसने इतना बोला बेटा कोई बात नहीं, मैंने tarantula दिया. So tarantula is very sly, and they can trick you. Okay? They have within them cunningness. They can trick you. They are destructive or depraved, like bufo. Bufo पे आई हूँ तो bufo का बोलते हैं. Bufo is a remedy which is somewhere between a Beraita and a tarantula. Okay? Okay? Bufo has the childishness of Beraita and it has the cunningness of tarantula. Okay? Alright? You will find Bufo, in other words, as described in some Materia Medica, Beraita calf is a protected idiot. Bufo is an unprotected idiot. And tarantula is a destructive idiot. Okay, is it 2 o'clock? Getting to 2. That's why the AC is off. Okay, so I'll be quick now, huh? Okay. So feigning is, so remember, Bufo is also a remedy which is very close to Bufo, and you can sometimes make a mistake between Bufo and lachesis also, huh? Because lachesis is also cunning like this. However, Bufo does not have the jealousy factor, and lachesis does not have the childishness. Okay? Alright. Desires to joke, play, laugh, wants somebody to wait for her as she felt that something wrong is going to happen to her. Selfish and duplicity. Next. Coca. मैंने बोला था coca is a remedy which is not so well known. What gives coca its place as a deceitful is sense of right and wrong abolished. Coca is also a very timid remedy. Coca doesn't like strangers, is not comfortable in strangers. But still, because of the fact that there is no sense of right and wrong, that is the reason. Sometimes you can mistake coca with sulfur, because like sulfur, coca is never dressed well. Okay, sulfur के कपड़े कैसे होते हैं? कोका को भी कभी भी never bothers about personal appearance. Next slide. Okay, plumbum. Plumbum is another remedy which has an inclination to deceive, to feign, to exaggerate. Inclined to cheat, deceive, would go into a hysterical state for hours. If one thought others were watching, कुछ नाटक हो रहा है, लगा है कोई देख रहा है कि नहीं देख रहा है तो और करो नाटक. Okay, that is more of plumbum. I'm going a little fast, huh? Because of paucity of time. Next. अभी इसमें है ना बेटा, तो इधर इधर क्लिक करना पड़ेगा, तो तेरे को ये होएगा प्लेट. No, go up again. Plate. Go there and plate. समझा? हाँ, बोला कुछ वो, ओके, करके गया डिस्ट्रक्शन, ओके, probably he's taking a revenge on his father or whoever. Okay, can you imagine now that what that fellow will go through? How he, so this is deceit, this is planning, okay, and this is doing something. I'm not talking of a remedy because there's a lot more to it. We would go back. Okay, but I'm just trying to give you an example. You don't need people to speak every time for deceit. You can see it in action. Because here, how would you catch anybody? You won't be able to do it at all. Next, beta. Okay, I have to go a little fast because we have got a thing that it's only 5 minutes left. Sullen tricky. So this is another remedy, cuprum, that I want you to remember. Next slide. I want you to remember morphinum. Moschus, which is again a hysterical remedy, which is a very pampered remedy, which is sly and untrustworthy. Next slide. Aurum mute natronatum. 1 minute. I'm not reading through everything. I'm just telling you aurum mute natronatum would be Pinocchio's remedy because Pinocchio को remorse हुआ था. ये एक remedy है जिसमें full of remorse है. अभी तक remorse आया किधर? नहीं आया. ये Pinocchio. Okay. Next. Can you hear me?
Yes. No, we need to speak on this.
I have to speak on that? Okay. So very quickly then, we have anacardium, again a very hard-hearted remedy, deceitful, but remember there are two sides to anacardium. Next. The next remedy, argentum nitricum. Argentum nitricum is tense, he is an escapist. What makes argentum lie is his personal insecurity. Okay? It is because it's a very, argentum always feels, I'm not as good as gold. And because he feels so, hence that there is deceitfulness in him. Oh no, chronic liar. And anything you suggest to an argentum, he always has objection about it. Next. Thuja. no, my mother would sit at the table and she would pray. Her prayer would be inaudible, but she would pray. In her prayer, one day, I heard something like Hahnemann. मेरे को लगा मेरे को आवाज आ रही है Hahnemann थोड़ी. She's praying. I will hear her a little more. Okay. And so again when she was praying, Hahnemann जैसे है ना, Hahnemann जैसा ही सुना है मैंने. फिर मैंने बोला मम्मी, okay. I said, आप प्रार्थना कर रही हो, what are you praying? She said, so I'm taking the name of all the gods and all the people who have contributed to my life. But I said, man, Mummy, I heard Hahnemann. And she looked at me and she said, yes. I said, yes. I said, why are you praying to Hahnemann? She looked at me and she said, बेटा, तेरे को पता नहीं, मैं Hahnemann की रोटी खा रही हूँ. Hahnemann, तेरे को सलाम, मेरी माँ को सलाम, जिसने ये सिखाया कि हम सब Hahnemann की रोटी खा रहे हैं. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, madam. Honestly, it was a lively, joyful, cheerful, full of life presentation. Your best teacher. Once again, very much, we are very much thankful to you. We look forward to more sessions from you, madam. I thank Dr. Deepika who has started this whole journey, and that is why thanks for all the delegates who have come offline, personally today, and to all my online friends and delegates. But we missed you, is it? Yes. Yeah, so we look forward for more offline members next time. We are happy that we are moving on from social distancing to social meeting. So we look forward for more gatherings together physically. And in future, we plan to do the same way, online plus offline. We will try our level best. Today, we were late a little bit by 20 minutes because of the technical glitch. As you know, this was our dedication period, but we will achieve the milestone very soon after a few sessions. So we may avoid this delay later on. Next weekend, there is a retro workshop by Predictive Homeopathy at Panchgini, which will be taken by Dr. Ambrish on 8th to 10th April. So you can contact any of the Predictive members or any of us, IIHP members. So, and last but not the least, a very sumptuous lunch is waiting for you down at the canteen. So do join us for that. And I call upon Dr. Chitra Desai and the dais to present and it's a useful thing, thoughtful, useful thing. Thank you for the love and blessings that you shower all the time on us. It's been a pleasure to be here. Thank you, Dr. Sister Desai. Thank you, everyone. See you next time. We will be announcing soon. Yeah, so you all have to collect the coupons, lunch coupons, and move towards the canteen. Thank you.
Zoom में भी अनाउंस कर दें. हाँ. Hello.